Alrighty, folks. Hello there. This is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. So, this could be the final Premier Draft Crimson Vow, since I do want to maybe just hit past top 5 Mythic and end it from there. Since I should have almost enough content for this format already, and then once I maybe finish off Crimson Vow, I can maybe move back into Strixhaven and kind of go over the set. So this should be pretty fun, and yeah, we're number 7 Mythics, just need a couple of wins to climb back up to top 5, and then if we do very well, we can even get past top 5 Mythic, which is my goal for this month, for this format. And funny enough, it's still very early, January the 8th, approximately, so I mean, I could spend my whole month playing this, but a double feature will be coming out soon, plus Kamigawa will be out in like the next month. And yeah, this format have been having a lot of success with it, and also almost going infinite. Even though I did have to spend a couple of gems prior to my win streaks, since I just was fluctuating. But I do have the gist of this format by now, so let's give this a spin. And yeah, we'll see if we end up drafting white this time. White is white and green are kind of the only two colors which we didn't cover too much of. Only have one 7-win green deck. Didn't get any with blue white or white black or white blue yet. But overall, the not the Jund colors, the Grixis colors have been impressive overall. Blue red especially. So hopefully this can be our last video. We'll do some Strixhaven and call it from there until double feature comes out. And my estimate is that double feature, black and blue are going to be very strong colors. Red, not as much, given how we're going to have Decay and Disturb again, like in the previous set. And green is probably going to be the worst color, given that it's kind of like the worst two colors in both of these sets so far. So let's see, pack 1, pick 1, Premier Draft, Crimson Vow. What do we have to find pleasure of opening? So what's the rare for our next couple of drafts, or for this final draft? Ooh, Catilda. All right, speaking of white, this is a really nice one to open. And Catilda is going to be at its best in a blue-white auras deck, since it cares about spirits and enchantments. But for the most part, if you play this in any white deck, you should have a decent amount, and this card is excellent. Even then, protection from vampires is great, and if Catilda ends up end up in the graveyard, you can just disturb it again, use this as an aura for one of your other creatures, and then they just become another killed Catilda with extra stats, essentially. So this is going to be my slam dunk pick. Alternatively, what other good cards are in this pack? Fierce Retribution and Lantern Bearer are both excellent. And then there's also Evolving Wilds. I think I'm at this point where I think Lantern Bearer you should maybe take over Fierce Retribution, given how Fierce Retribution is situational, whereas Lantern Bearer is a blue card you want in any blue deck, and just the best blue common. But we'll see for now. And this pack will just take an easy Sigarda's Imprisonment just to go along for Catilda, Dawnheart, Martyr. Nothing else too exciting in this pack. Weaver Blossoms and Bloodcraze Socialite stands out. Edgar's Awakening is only really playable in the black-red blood deck, I think. And even then, there should be enough ways to recur your creatures with Blood Fountains and Undying Malice. You don't really need to prioritize this card as highly, and the rare is pretty unplayable. So yeah, maybe there's a sign that white is open being past Imprisonment, and we can finally draft a white deck for once. Hopefully end up white-blue or white-black. I mean, I could take a Fleeting Spirit, but I don't think the card is that impressive, honestly. There's a lot of, I mean, the 2-drop Drogskull Infantry can basically replace this. It does keep us monocolor, but it's nothing exciting. I don't really want to exile a Disturb and Auras from my graveyard, and yeah. The discard effect is fine with other auras, but either way, it's just medium. There's Restless Bloodseeker if we want to focus on the Lifegain deck, which I would take over Diagraph Scavenger. Since I would go white-black life gain anyways with the Diagraph Scavenger, and this is a good payoff. Or I could just take Lantern Bearer, and I think blue-white is definitely one of the best archetypes in the set, and a tier 1 deck. So I think I'm leaning towards Lantern Bearer over Restless Bloodseeker, and then maybe hedge towards blue-white. So we'll try this out and see if it happens. But a good sign that maybe black is open, but also we were past Lantern Bears, so blue white's also open as well. And I think Lantern Bear is enough better than Dollhouse of Horrors. Okay, I mean we had this strange draft where we went 4-3, and we went Dollhouse of Horrors with white blue deck somehow, and even with the whole anti synergy with wanting to use your creature as auras instead of bringing them back. Dollhouse of Horror was a bomb. So it's going to be my pick here, and given that's pick 4, that's kind of interesting to note. Do people realize this is one of the best rares in the set, and it also goes into any color? So it's going to be the pick here over Fierce Retribution, which would be my second pick. But also seeing some other late black cards, Blood Crazed Socialites, so maybe the white-black deck is open. There's also Taxidermist, which is a good mana dork, but we'll take a Dollhouse of Horrors. Interesting to see it this late. And then Traveling Minister, the best white common, and the best card in this pack. Love seeing this card. Definitely a top 5 common, for sure. I think this is like number 4, I think. Number 5 is Falcon Raft Celebrants. And then number 6, I did move Lantern Bear up the white removal, since this has a much more unique card. But we'll take Traveling Minister. And then, I guess we could be white-black Lifegain. Between both of these, I think they're close. I think the Gluttonous Guess is just better, since there are some incidental ways to just generate blood in black, and then the more blood tokens you gain, you can just trigger and gain a life, and having the blood to loot away a land is quite good. I don't think I want to take Dawn Horde Geysera. I've been pretty unimpressed. Desperate Farmer is also something to also think about in the white-black Lifegain deck, but you do need something to die to really transform this. So I think I'll take a Gluttonous Guest here, and if we end up white-black, maybe we can have a bit of a blood tokens theme if we somehow wield that Restless Bloodseeker from the previous packs. So we'll take it here. And Heron of Hope versus Fierce Retribution. This is rough. Usually when I don't have my first copy of Fierce Retribution, I prefer taking... if I don't have my first copy of a Traveling Minister, I prefer the Fierce Retribution. But given that I have Traveling Minister, I think Heron of Hope is just too powerful. It's just insane. Like if you play Heron and tap the Minister, you gain 2 life, and if you're able to connect with a 3-powered Heron of Hope, you can just gain 4 life. So it just makes it very difficult to race. And I do like it here after we have a Traveling Minister, but I could see taking the Fierce Retribution in case we need more interaction. But yeah, Heron is also just great with Dollhouse as a creature we can bring back. So love seeing white is open, and then here we have a choice between Scatter Thoughts and Pointed Discussion. I do see Scatter Thoughts wheel a ton, and this card I think it is kind of clunky at 4 mana in the white-blue deck. White-blue tends to be a curve-out deck. It tends to be very aggressive and doesn't care about keeping up too much instances. So I'm actually down to just take a Pointed Discussion if we're going to be in the white-black Lifegain deck. We're going to gain a ton of life, so we don't have to worry about the life loss from this, and this is just a nice 3-for-1 sometimes. So Pointed Discussion is nice here. And then nothing else matters. Hopefully maybe we don't end up white-green. Armed to Cathars is pretty bad. Guess I'll just take maybe a Laid to Rest, which just adds best in the white-green deck, if we somehow go that route. So we'll see. Could be white-black, could be white-blue, and we do see a late Blood Crazed Socialite, which I'm going to take over Courier Bat. Courier Bat's going to be at its best in the white-black Lifegain deck, but I just think Blood Crazed Socialite is a better card, and it just plays well with the Gluttonous Guest. And hopefully we can pick a 1 copy of these later. I don't really need to prioritize these as much, since it's not always guaranteed I gain life. So maybe we just end up white-black, and we might have missed out on the Restless Bloodseeker, but it's okay. I'm not psychic, and I'd rather be in white-blue than white-black if I can. So this is definitely a sign that black is open, and we'll take a Gift of Fangs. Plays pretty well with some of the vampires we can pick up, and in case we need some sort of early removal spell, it can be fine. A little bit difficult against another opposing vampires deck, but still a fine card to see. So it does seem like maybe the Abzan color's open, since we're seeing some late white cards, and then some black cards here. And then now in this pack, very interesting, there's a Restless Bloodseeker now that we can pick. There's also a Fierce Retribution as well, and a Lantern Bearer. I think it's just Retribution here. Like, we didn't wield the last Restless Bloodseeker, and is quite powerful in the white-black Lifegain deck. But again, just for open purposes, I think we just take the Fierce Retribution. There's a sign that maybe black could still be cut off somehow from my left-hand side, and I just want to stay open, and we don't have too much removal as of right now, so I think we'll take a Fierce Retribution to be safe, and then see what's up in the future packs. And Valor Stance is perfect, although there is a Bleed Dry in this pack, and the Flame Blessed Bolt as well, so this is a little bit rough. I think it's still Valor Stance to keep myself in white. It's just a good removal spell, even though it can only target things with 4 toughness. All the big, I mean, it'll kill anything that Bleed Dry can as well. We already have a Fierce Retribution and a Sigarda's Imprisonment. So I don't need to prioritize the Bleed Dry, even though it's a better pack one, pick one. There's also Flame Blessed Bolt, of course, but Valor Stance keeps us in white, and that's where I need to be. And then we'll take another Heron of Hope here as the best card in this pack for sure. There's another Courier Bat, but Heron of Hope is just a better card. Nothing else here I want. Hopefully we can pick up more Traveling Ministers to improve these Heron of Hopes, or maybe pick up some 2-drops like Drogskull Infantry, which we're kind of lacking. And yep, there we go, another Traveling Minister, so white is very open. Pick 4, best white common, and definitely a top 5 common. Now, Traveling Minister is going to be awkward if we don't have any early game creatures to play, since you really want to curve out Minister into some sort of 2-drop or 3-drop. So I do need to prioritize some infantries and maybe some more creatures. But for now, this deck is pretty solid. And it seems like we're going to mostly end up white-black, but who knows. We only have 1 Lantern Bearer, but we didn't see any Brine Combers. I still think taking the Fierce Retribution was the right choice since we were lacking removal. And then now, yeah, I think I'm convinced going white-black since we're seeing a late Markov Purifier. And if we pivot into blue, we're going to be lacking. We'll be abandoning all these black cards, and that doesn't seem worth it. Yeah, this would be Lunar Rejection would be my pick here if it wasn't for Purifier. There's also Wedding Announcement, I guess. But it's only really good if we have a ton of vampires to get lifelink. But Purifier is perfect, especially with the Traveling Minister. So yeah, we finally get to get a white-black Lifegain deck going as we get past Brinecomber. Okay, I'll take the Brinecomber. There's a chance we just end up splashing it maybe, but this is definitely one of the best uncommons in the set. Also late Lantern Bearer, Flame Blessed Bolts for some reason is still in the pack. Alright, could take a Wedding Security. It's not bad, just a fine 5-drop we could play. And we don't have that much blood tokens, but we can make a few of them, playing Discussion, Gluttonous Guess, and Socialite. And overall, again, it's just a fine 5-drop, also a Vampire that plays well if we pick up more Wedding Announcements. So, yeah, that's a late Brinecomber, but I think we're solidly in the white-black, given how we got past Purifier and all the late black cards in the first pack. And this should be a pretty fun deck. Double Traveling Minister is quite awesome. And then, yeah, the double Heron of Hopes. Just need to make sure I pick up some 2-drops, which I'm kind of lacking. So I'll hopefully get some Drogskull Infantries in the next pack to fill up this department. Nurturing Present isn't the worst, but it's more like a blue-white gold card. I'll still consider it here. It plays better with Flyers. Also plays pretty well with Catilda regardless. So as long as we can get some 2-drops going, I don't mind playing in Nurturing Presence, but usually you don't want to latch this onto Traveling Minister. It's better to latch this onto Lantern Bearer, and Radiant Grace isn't really anywhere where I want to be. And we'll take a Wedding Invitation here for some of our vampires. Scarab Thoughts also find decent common. Alright, late Blessed Bolt, what's going on? No respect for this card. I don't think we're moving to red anytime soon, but come on, really? This is like second, third best common in the set. I'll take another Nurturing Presence, but it does dishearten me to see a late Flame Blessed Bolt, and I'll still play Heron Blessed Geist even in white-black, since there might be ways where we can have an enchantment out, and then this can still be a fine creature that can make 2 Spirit tokens late game. But come on, Flame Blessed Bolt, last 3 picks. Do people forget to draft this set already? Best card in this pack is Bilumig and Vampire's Vengeance and Celebrants, but as we all know, we're committed to white-black, so we'll take a Socialite. And even if we end up white-blue, we don't really have any exploit creatures to go along with the Bilum Egg. And blue does seem a bit cut off, so easy Blood Craze Socialite. Don't think I like dying to serve. Too slow to get going, and the fact that the tokens come in tapped isn't really great. So Socialite makes our Wedding Security better, our Gluttonous gets better. And then now, interesting choice. Could just consider Desperate Farmer since we need some more creatures in this deck. I don't think I need a Innocent Traveler with double Blood Crazed Socialites. There's also a Evolving Wilds which can help with a bit of fixing, but I think we just need more creatures in this deck to help round out in case we don't get any more 2-drops for some magical reason. We have some 3-drop creatures, but I think the Desperate Farmer does fit the Lifegain theme pretty well, so we'll take it. Best card in this pack is a Braid and the Wandering Mine. And somehow red is open for some apparent reason. Don't know why it is. Okay, we'll take a Headless Rider. We're not necessarily a zombies deck, but it's just a good card. And if we can just trade off with it, makes a 2/2 body. Also another Braid. So someone might have maybe taken a complete 180 and decide to move into a different color for some reason. So maybe white is now cut off or black. Don't know, but this is awkward. I'm going to take a Headless Rider here. And are we ever going to get any 2-drops? Probably not. Could always just take a Piercing Light, perhaps. It's probably worse than Gift of Fangs, given that we already have vampires. So I'm not sure here. It's between the 2 removal spells. And I could diversify, have a Piercing Light and a Gift of Fangs, since Gift can be awkward against other vampire decks. So I'll take a Piercing Light, and there we go, a 2-drop finally. Also wouldn't mind playing Vampire Slayer at this point in the deck. Also late Lantern Bearer, but we're going to take a Panic Bystander, and it's going to be at best in white, black Lifegain. And then now I think we're desperate enough to take a Vampire Slayer here that we got to take it. Otherwise we're going to have no 2-drops, even though I hate passing up a late Brian Comer. We're not going to splash it at this point, so just going to take the 2-drop. Maybe we don't need to play Piercing Light in this type of deck. Not sure about the Heron Blessed Geist, but it is a 5-drop flyer. I'll take another Heron of Hope, however. Yeah, I'll play as many of these as I can. So we definitely want to play 17 to at least get to our late game stuff. And none of this stuff is really interesting or exciting. Don't think I need another Desperate Farmer or Piercing Light. I guess I'll take a Grisly Ritual, but I don't know if I'm even going to play it. And then seeing some late blue cards, I guess Alchemist Retrieval, if we somehow end up blue, which we probably aren't at this point. We're just going to be straight up white, black Lifegain, and we should be fine. So our removal is fine. I don't think we need Grisly Ritual. We should be okay trying to close out the game by, playing flyers and some menacing Blood Crazed Socialite. Desperate Farmer is also okay as a fine 3-drop we could play. Kind of a bit understand, but if this manages to transform, it's quite a house. Not a ton of zombies to go along with a Headless Rider, but again, it's just a 3/1 that trades off and makes a 2/2. So it's still a very solid card. And Nurturing Presence is not really a card I want to just play exactly on turn 2. Like, it's really awkward with Minister into the Nurturing Presence, since I'm not planning to attack with the Traveling Minister. So either way, I think we have a solid deck, and we can just go 17 lands and basically play barely any 2-drops, which I'm still fine with, since it seems like this is a much more mid-range grindy deck that's trying to make it to the late game with flyers and Dollhouse of Horrors and the rest of these cards. So I think I'm okay. And I think we navigated this quite correctly. Saw some late blue cards, but we didn't see other great blue cards. There wasn't too much heavy density of blue going on. Like, you can see the blue exploit creatures were getting contested. Repository Scobs or Stitch Assistants. And, yeah, we did see double Brian Comer, though, which I think we took one of them. But I think at this point in the draft, it was just too late. So, yeah, I think this is it. And then, yeah, slightly favoring white. Anything in the sideboard I can consider, I guess Ritual, but it's like 6 mana, and I don't really care about getting there. We should have enough ways to grind and generate card advantage with Markup Purifier, the Dollhouse of Horrors, Heron of Hopes, Gaining Life. We do have some removal already, which is fine. So sure, let's give this a shot, see how it goes. And our picture, yeah, Catilda was our first pick, so I guess that qualifies. And the power level of our deck isn't going to spike until turn 4, given that we have like triple Heron of Hopes and double Blood Crazed Socialites. But yeah, this deck can definitely grind. I wish I had a Drog Skull Infantry, like the 2/2 creature that becomes an aura when it dies. For 4 mana, would have easily maybe cut a Socialite for that. But as it stands, yeah, this is the configuration and should be a fine, reasonable deck. Hopefully get to 7 wins with it and try to get to past top 5 Mythic if I can. And then once that's done, we can do some Strixhaven, and that should be pretty fun. I love revisiting that format. I did make top 3 Mythic for Strixhaven in one of my previous videos. Alright, we have a 3-drop, and we have both of our colors. No early game, but I mean, regardless, like I've talked about, I think this deck is going to have trouble hitting its 1 and 2 drops. So I think we're fine keeping here. Would be nice to obviously top deck a 2-drop or 1-drop here, but, you know, again, no guarantees. And we barely have any 2s or 1s, so again, I'm fine keeping this weird 3-drop. Don't really care about the Toxic Scorp. It's not a big deal. And opponent's playing blue-green, so it's also a bit of a grindy control deck. The Apprentice Sharpshooter is a problem. I think I can just kill it now, given that it's 4 toughness. And I do need to win the game with flyers, so I think I'm just going to Valor Stance. Take out the Apprentice Sharpshooter here before it locks down on my flyers. And so I can also be mana efficient. And yeah, lead with the Gluttonous Guess. Don't think I'm going to be able to gain 3 life next turn. So I think I'm just going to point the discussion and be mana efficient. And then what we can do is we can also just, I guess I can play Traveling Minister and point the discussion. So I think we just want to do that just to be mana efficient as much as possible so we can hit our 5th land drop. And once we hit our 5th land drop, we should be able to maybe deploy a flyer or Wedding Security to start growing it. Although with the Death Toucher, it's a little bit awkward. I could also just trade the Traveling Minister for the 1/1, so then the Wedding Security can start attacking. So I could just block the Spore Crawler block here and we should be fine. I think I'm fine trading here. I mean, this is pretty good with the flyer, but the Toxic Scorp is an issue. So I think I'll go for this approach, so maybe we can attack with a Wedding Security and draw a card off of it. Dollhouse is also nice, so it can get back to Traveling Minister. Could also play the Heron Blessed Geist. But I think I'll just drop the Wedding Security. Maybe this can disincentivize an attack of some sort. Rural Recruit, so he's going to start going wide. I could attack here. If he attacks, he can just double block. So I guess the play is just Heron Blessed Geist, play land. And then I can even discard a land end of turn. I could also just attack right now, but just for safety, I'm just going to stay back. Gutter Skulker so he can start attacking here. So I think I'm fine getting back Traveling Minister with the Dollhouse of Horror and then giving the Heron Blessed Geist life gain and attacking. Since the 4-drop is important. I could also Wedding Invite and then make this unblockable in attack, which can also be a fun turn we can use. We won't gain 3 life necessary, so I think I just want to be mana efficient and get back the Traveling Minister. And I think I might be able to play out a land because I might just try to draw a card off the Wedding Security anyways. So I think this is fine. We can gain a life, attack for 4. And then Dollhouse can also just bring our creatures back whenever we want, so Wedding Invite can also gain life with the Wedding Security. Opponent might attack with the Gutter Skulker now, and we'll take 3. We should be able to survive this onslaught. Opponent also missing his land drops. So, if he keeps missing his land drops, that could be an issue. He could also be holding up. Alright, that's fine. So he might want to chump the 3/3, which I'm okay with. But first things first, let's get the Wedding Invitation down. Alright, and then we can even play Heron of Hope and Bystander, I think. And that's enough for 3 life, so then the Panic Bystander can transform. So this is a nice turn for us. So first things first, let's activate the Traveling Minister. Let's make the 5/4 unblockable, and then we'll attack with both. And then if he takes chumps with the Lantern Bearer, I'm also fine with that exchange. And we also gain a life off the Gluttonous Guest, so yeah, we're gaining a ton of life, we're drawing a card, and then the Panic Bystander is also just going to transform, so that was a really nice turn. And then we can start attacking in the air and also attack with some of these ground creatures. And then even if they trade off, the nice thing is that we can also just bring them back with the Dollhouse of Horror. So yeah, we got some good turns here. Opponent decides not to bring back Lantern Bear, so this could be a interesting turn. So I might not even attack with the Wedding Security, although now he just gives us flying, so he's definitely playing to trade with the aerial creatures. So I could just attack with all, honestly, draw a card off of the blood and bring a creature back. So yeah, why not? Let's just do this. And then move to combat. I'm fine sending in all these creatures. And we can even give the Cackling Culprit Death Touch. I just want to get aggressive here and then maybe force him to do some awkward blocks. Like, he can trade here, which is fine. Okay, that's okay. And then I don't mind blocking the Heron Blessed Geist. And then if he's going to chump here, that's fine. I can also just give this life gain. He does get to draw a couple of cards, but, you know, we can still, again, bring some of these creatures back. And then make sure we tap like Civilized People. And then we can always just bring them back with the Dollhouse next turn, and they become 2/2 flyers. And there's no sleepers in sweepers in green or blue, so I should be okay just playing out my stuff. And we just gain a ton of life, so yeah, not bad. Let's just play the Socialites, make more blood, and then play Vampire Slayer. And we can even bring back our Wedding Security and attack just to draw a card with the blood. So, or just attack with a Socialite and make it into a 5/5 unblockable. That's probably just better. But yeah, managed to grind the opponent out. But he was also missing his land drops, so I'm not sure if I would have won if he hit his land drops and started deploying bigger stuff. But as you can see, our deck has some nice blood synergy going on with this deck. Usually, Black-Red is the deck that cares most about blood. White doesn't have that many blood payoffs and doesn't have any ways to generate blood outside of Sigarda's Imprisonment. But when you combine it with like cards like Gluttonous Guest or Blood Crazed Socialite, it's pretty good. So, and we're still stuck at 7 after 1 win, so it's going to take a while to get up there. Either way, yeah, this deck is really fun. And I'm hoping you guys enjoy this video and can take notes of this. I'm hoping this doesn't hit like the 3-minute mark and have us draw and concede. I mean, I mean, it doesn't have us concede, but it just ends up as a draw past 2 minutes, and that's kind of annoying. So usually when this happens, there could be, yeah, a glitch or something. Or, all right, we'll see. Sometimes maybe the other player disconnected, and then there's an exploding sound, and they both end up as draws. And it can get really tilting, especially if you're in a losing streak. All right, this hand. We do have Traveling Minister, but we need to hit a black mana. If we don't, it's going to be a little bit awkward. On the draw, given that a Traveling Minister, I think I'll risk it here, but I could see a world where we end up mulliganing. But if there wasn't Traveling Minister, it would be an easy mulligan. But this card is just too good on turn 1 and can definitely spiral out of control if we get some, once we start deploying our flyers or get some of these 3-drops down. So high risk, high reward. Sometimes you gotta keep it. And this can just go really awkward, and we won't have any lands or black mana, but we're on the draw, so we have a maybe slightly higher chance of getting there. We'll see. I never really look at the artwork on these planes, but that's pretty cool now that I'm actually paying attention. But it's just too much details and descriptions that sometimes you just want to play Magic and you're focusing on a couple of key things and not all of it. Alright, no black mana. Alright. Give it 2 more turns. But Minister on 1 is reasonable. And opponent's playing red-green. Eventually we need to take out this pup. I think I'll offer to trade here or tap for 1. I highly doubt he's going to trade a Paxson pup. I'm just going to gain a life, and if this, I could even lock this down with imprisonment if I get my 3rd land drop, or if it grows out of hand, I can just use the Valorous Stance on it. So, there's no way, if I keep this around, there's a chance if he didn't have a werewolf, he wouldn't attack. But in a red-green deck, there's a high chance that he gets a werewolf, so he can pump this into a 2/2 anyways and then attack, so I might as well just gain a life. Could also attack back and try to race, but if we're going to miss our land drops, that's not really recommended as the opponent moves to combat, so he doesn't really have a werewolf. So I should keep that to note, although now he has Spore Crawler. But we'll see go, and there's our land. So now what? I could play the Gluttonous Guest to hold off the 3/2 for the time being. Could also play the Headless Rider. If it dies, we make a 2/2 token. And we can just get this out of the way immediately. I mean, the Gluttonous Guest can just block for the time being. It's kind of interesting to note here. I definitely don't want to attack, and I definitely want to gain life here, so we'll just use the Traveling Minister. I could also imprison the 1/1 now in case he gets some werewolves going. I think I just like the Headless Rider here. I'm fine with the trade. We can even keep this back if we want to. Attacking with a 1/1. Might actually trade for this 1/1 actually, since we'll make a 2/2 to block the 3/2 and this can become a problem later. So I'm actually liking the block on the Paxson pup. And that way he doesn't get to draw a card and hit his land drop potentially, and we still make a 2/2, so either way it's still good for us, and now we can play Heron of Hope and gain 2 life and trade off for a Spore Crawler. So now the Heron of Hope is going to be a way to get back into this game. But we're probably just going to point the discussion or Gluttonous Guest next turn. We're not going to be activating this. Or I guess if we get our land drop, we can Gluttonous Guest and activate. But I'll definitely trade for 1 Spore Crawler, not the second one. Alright, Prentice Sharpshooter, but thank God we have Valorous Stance, and we got a land drop, so let's lead by casting Valorous Stance here. And then I think we just we play Gluttonous Guest to block the 3/1. Then we activate Traveling Minister and attack with our Baneslayer Angel. That's the kind of the joke on this card. It's not really, obviously it's not Baneslayer Angel, but you guys get it. Combatant, so I can take 5 here and block the 2/2. And I should be able again to gain enough life in this deck to offset the damage, so I don't mind just taking it. Ooh, Catilda's nice. Could just play out Catilda here, or maybe take the risk and draw a card. Maybe I'll take the risk and draw a card first, and we'll keep double white in case we need to play Catilda, because I do need to hit my land drops. No lands, okay. Could play second Traveling Minister. I think that's okay, I suppose, since I'll be gaining life anyways, and there's no sweepers in red-green. Although I do need to be careful that there could be a potential Vampire's Vengeance, which is in red. It's a 2-mana sweeper that destroys all. Okay, there goes our flyer, but we do have a backup one. And then I guess we'll block a 3-2, play second Heron, and take 2. Passes the turn, okay. So now we can just play, I guess, Heron of Hope here, and then maybe discard a land and a turn. Yeah, sure. And then we can also just gain 1,000,000 life, so... Yeah, Heron of Hope is a busted card if you have double Traveling Minister. That's why I took it over Fierce Retribution. And then, yeah, we just gained 4 life there. Oakshade Ranger doesn't have reach. And Toxic Scorp doesn't have reach. We'll definitely take 3 here, since he's planning to use this attack. And then we can block the 2-2. And then, do I loot away land? I guess I can. Although I don't mind having an extra land, I just want to make sure I make use of these blood tokens and gain some life as well. Another Heron of Hope. Okay, so this is even more busted. Could also play Heron Blessed Geist. First things first, we're definitely going to enhance the Heron. I'll play the Heron Blessed Geist just to be mana efficient. I can see a world where we actually play the Heron of Hope to gain like an even more amount of absurd life, but that might not be the world. So we can still block this, take 5, and preserve our flyers and gain even more life next turn. So next turn we can gain approximately, don't know how much life we can gain. I'm surprised he's only attacking with the 1/1. So I think we can just win the game by playing out Heron here and just gaining even more life. So yeah, you just can't stop this combo once it gets going. So another reason why Black-White Life Gain is just so powerful. Just because of the life gain synergies from Heron of Hope and Traveling Minister, and then he's already in a 2-turn clock, and I can even take all the damage next turn, funny enough, and still be able to close out. So I can just easily block the 3-2 and win the game 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll be going down to 16, but then I'll just be gaining even more life. So this is 3 life per activation, including the Heron, so I'll be gaining 6 life once I tap these twice. And then, yeah, I can also just pump both. And how much life is that? Not sure. I don't know how to do my math. I guess if both of these are 3 power, and I give them both lifelink, I'll be gaining 5 each. So I can gain up to 16 life next turn, which is just absurd. Surprised the opponent played land first, because he might have maybe wanted to use the blood token to discard the land instead. So, but we basically won, so I don't really see any outs from the opponent, especially now that he can't discard with the blood token. Yeah, so Minister and Heron are just ridiculous commons. So I think Heron has moved up in my picking order. I mean, it really depends. I would definitely take my first Imprisonment and Fierce Retribution maybe over the Heron of Hope, but if I do have Traveling Ministers already, like maybe 1 or 2 copies, then I'll prioritize the Heron of Hopes over the Fierce Retributions and Sigarda's Imprisonments. Yeah, I think it has definitely moved up in my pick order. In terms of Heron of Hope versus Lantern Bearer, I might still lean towards Lantern Bearer more. Like, Heron is a good card, but it's only great, again, if you have Traveling Ministers and ways to trigger life gain synergies. And and it can be kind of awkward at times, since it's 4 mana, which is quite pricey. If the opponent has some, like, Abrades, you can just fall really far behind on tempo, having to tap out for 4 mana, have your flyer get dealt with. And then, if you don't have any Traveling Ministers to go along with it, you won't be gaining a ton of life, so... Still going to rank maybe Lantern Bearer as a higher common pick over Heron of Hope. And then I think maybe Lantern Bearer also just beats the white removal spells, not sure. But so far I've been pretty impressed with blue for some reason. And funny enough, their commons aren't great. Like, outside of Lantern Bearer, maybe Chill the Great. Maybe outside of Lantern Bearer, their other commons are just very contextual and okay. Like, Chill of the Grave would be the second best, and Syncopate, and then Scatter Thoughts, and but it's not even, those cards aren't even really that great. Like, if you look at the power level of the blue commons compared to, example, the green commons, they're definitely lackluster, but for some reason blue performs better than green in this format, which doesn't really, I don't really understand why. For some reason, I guess it's just better synergy for the most part. Like, maybe blue just has some good uncommons, better than green ones, and I guess blue offers great interaction at uncommon with cards like Diver Scob and Lunar Rejection, that they're just maybe better than green, or maybe just green gets punished for having too much expensive commons, and if they do get interrupted, it just your whole plan falls apart. Whereas in blue, it doesn't happen as much. All right, there we go. Build your own Baneslayer Angel, Traveling Minister, Heron of Hope, and build your own Baneslayer Angel was a quote from Mr. Metronome on Twitter, so I didn't invent that. So just FYI. Yeah, Traveling Minister, Heron of Hope, gain 1,000,000 life. Hopefully no removal. Opponent plays red. I mean, I would Flame Blast Bolt this ASAP, don't know. I'll attack for 1. I think we can outrace him if we're going to gain 1,000,000 life, so that 1 extra point might matter. Red-green again, so this is the second time facing against a white-green player, green player, and I'll attack again. And then once we play our Heron of Hope, we can just gain a ton of life. Could also leave with a Blood Crazed Socialite here, as the opponent plays in the Braid. Okay, fair enough. So I might just leave the Socialite since it hits harder. Yeah, might just do that. And then we can save up the flyers for later. Could also use the Blood token to loot, but then getting for 5 is quite a lot of damage, so... And it's not like we're lacking playables, and I do want to hit my land drops, especially with the Markov Purifier. So, not really looking forward to looting. Fine taking 3, activate attack, make this into a 5/5, get in for 5, and then we can play Heron of Hope and eventually activate it to gain a ton of life. So, I'm hoping I can get the land 6 to play Heron and then activate the other one. So could see a Wolf Strike here. Alright, opponent respects the Blood Crazed Socialite, so now we can have a Blood token to loot, and there we go. Another Traveling Minister into Heron. So the combo's going off, and next turn we can gain up to 3 life. And if we get another land, even better, since we can give this life gain and take it from there. Opponent does not equip, so it means he's tapping out potentially. Celebrants is a good one. Alright, so now we just need to try to offset the opponent's damage, so we'll play main phase Heron, activate Heron of Hope, and then tap this, gain 3 life, which is insane, and then gain 5 life, which is also really insane. So build your own Baneslayer Angel. So it's going to be a little bit rough for the opponent to race now, and we can also give lifelink to both, or just play Purifier, draw a card end of turn. But yeah, this is a potential combo you do need to break up if you face against it. Otherwise, it's just going to spiral out of control. Opponent finding lands instead. Not sure why he wanted to mulch there. I would definitely maybe loot it first. I guess he has some good playables he wants to make on curve. But we'll see. The opponent does seem to have a lot of good interaction. So splash. So using Gluttonous Guest to a splash. Sure. Don't think I'm blocking. I'll take 7. Since I'll be gaining a ton of life anyways. Ooh, Catilda. I guess this has protection from vampires. Yeah, I guess it's just double 3-drop this turn and take it from there. Although this is going to be a pretty small creature. It's still just very good, so we'll gain 3. And then attack for 5. And then next turn we can just gain even more life. And then we can even draw cards too, if we want to, with the Purifier. And we'll happily take 7. No reason not to block here, since we're just gaining again so much life that we don't need to care. We can even swing with the Purifier as well, just to get that extra life gain hit in. Brambleworm, alright, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a reach creature, so I might need to loot first and see what's up. If I can find an imprisonment, that will obviously be awesome, but if not, I guess Vampire Slayer isn't worse. I could also just stay back this turn. I could also just, gain life and stay back, or turn this into an aura. Or just draw a card, I guess. That's not bad too. Just gain a ton of life, play Vampire Slayer, end of turn. We can trigger Purifier and draw a card, so... yeah, we'll draw a card, so then eventually we can find an answer to Brambleworm. So we're going to take it slow here. It could still take 7. We can still double block the Falcon Raft Celebrants, or block one of them. I mean, the Vampire Slayer would kill the Falcon Raft, so if he attacks with it, I can just block with Catilda since it's protection from vampires. Ooh, Glorious Sunrise. Alright, that's a scary card. I could also set up enough blockers to take out the Brambleworm and take it from there. I guess he can give everyone trample. Okay, just decides to draw a card. So interesting position that we have here. I do like blocking the Celebrants here since Catilda has protection and Vampire Slayer just kills it, but I think the opponent knows. So, interesting. I might just trade off this here. He does get to draw a card, but I don't really want him chipping in for 3 every single turn. So just need to find removal, and we should be okay. I don't really like drawing end of turn, but it's kind of like what we have to do against this opponent. So where's my Fierce Retribution? I could always chump with Catilda. Okay, Wedding Security isn't the worst. And we can still draw a card end of turn, so I'll play out the Wedding Security. And again, I don't really think we're in a mood to attack by any means. Play land, and then end of turn we can draw a card with the Purifier. So, yeah. End turn. Auto pay, draw a card. Ooh, and Valor's Stance was perfect, okay. So we're going to take out the Brambleworm next turn, and we should be fine. Fine taking 7 this turn. And if you give this creatures trample, I don't mind double blocking with Security and Catilda on the 4/4. And these creatures are also quite small, so I should be okay here. Opponent might even keep the Brambleworm back because he might be afraid that we just swing for a ton of damage as well. But I think we're in a pretty good spot here. And we can just leverage the life gain, the card engine, and we should be fine. Do I even block the Celebrants, honestly? I mean, I don't really have any blood tokens, so I think I actually go for this double block here, because not only do I gain a life, but I get to kill this at least, which is kind of problematic in the future, so this is fine. And we also just gain 2 life here from the 3 life, from the Heron of Hope, so I think it's okay. So hopefully we can beat the Glorious Sunrise. Not an unbeatable bomb, but definitely one of the nutty bombs in green. Definitely the Averbrook Caretaker is a lot worse since that's hexproof, but you know what I mean. Alright, let's just lead with the Valor's Stance. Take out the Brambleworm. And I think I'm fine deploying the Flyer. We could draw another card, but yeah, we could draw another card and gain some more life, but I think I just want to play the Heron just to have an extra Flyer to eventually just close out this game. I could play the Heron first, I guess, to pump up the Catilda, so that was my bad. Messed that up a bit. So opponent's still at 25, and then we'll just add the extra Flyer to try to hopefully close on in a timely manner. And then the opponent's also at 13 cards, so if he doesn't find a way to stabilize or kill me quick enough, he can just lose the game. So opponent might actually end up decking himself, and I also forgot to pump Catilda, so opponent should have been at 12 life by now, and I would have gotten an extra life at 26. So hopefully that doesn't affect the outcome of the game. So opponent's just going to keep drawing cards. Hopefully no second Brambleworm, and we should be fine. But we do have some removal in the deck as well, so we still have Fierce Retribution and the Pacifism ability. Next turn we can give both life gain and then also just draw cards. But as you can, you can see, Green has a difficult time dealing with flyers. Don't care about this. I'll take 4. Alright, a Socialite. Alright, let's just begin by Traveling Minister on. I guess a Heron of Hope isn't the worst. He could target the Heron. But if I can give this life gain, it's a lot of life, so we'll just do this. Move to combat. And I think I'm fine giving both lifelink since, let's see, we have 7 mana available, so if I give both lifelink, I'll be at 4. Maybe I can just give one of them lifelink, and then I can still play. If I play Socialite, I'm going to be at 3. I think I should be okay not even giving lifelink, to be honest. Just attack with the flyers. And then we can play Socialite and draw a card end of turn. Bleed dry. Okay, that makes sense. Catilda is the bomb, so you gotta kill that first, right? So, could see another removal. If not, you'll be taking some aerial damage. I can play Socialite, and since we gain life, we can just draw a card end of turn to Purifier. And he's just going to try to gain 5 life. No, he decides to loot instead. Interesting. Decides not to be mana efficient. And then it doesn't really matter what mana I pay. So, can always loot away the land end of turn as well. Could also attack and make this into a 5/5, but he has some good blockers on the ground. So I guess this is a desperate attempt to maybe find some answers. So I'm probably just going to take it here. Yeah, no reason to block. And yeah, I don't think he can win. So yeah, Heron of Hope, Traveling Minister. Easy peasy combo. And we're back up to Mythic rank 5. Like without Traveling Minister, I think Heron of Hope would be pretty medium. But given that Minister is in a set, it just really overperforms and can become a really powerful win condition. But yeah, 3-0, not bad. With a first pick Catilda. Even we should have had some Restless Bloodseekers in this deck, but again, I wasn't sure if Black-White was open, and I'd rather beam Blue-White over Black-White in this format. And even then, we could have still ended up in Blue-Whites with the double Brian Comers that were passed to us. But we just saw too many good black cards in the first pack and the second pack that couldn't really say no. Only weakness I think in this deck is there's not a ton of 2-drops necessarily. So it can be awkward with the Traveling Minister. But once we stabilize and, gum up the ground, we can then get in with our flyers and gain a ton of life, and we can take it from there. So has some weaknesses, but also some powerful strengths. So card's good. I mean, deck's pretty good. So if we win the next couple of games and get the top 3, I guess I'll just call it. I'm too afraid to get the top 1, and it's too much work. Every single time I got into number rank 2 or 3, and I did get to rank 2 on Dominaria, like it just takes so many wins to keep up with the ranking, and then you can still win like 7 games in a row and still stay on rank 2 or 3. So it just takes a lot of time, and I don't feel like I really want to try to fight for that spot. Since Areem top 5 is already good, right? It's not the best, but it's definitely up there. So. Alright, opening hand. We have a 2-drop. A little bit awkward keep. We have some clunky, expensive stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit risky here. This could be bad if we don't hit our land drops, but with a 2-drop, I think we're okay. And on the play, I just don't like the mulligan. Like, I can imagine worse hands. But we'll see. And if it doesn't pan out, then we can just owe it all to bad RNG. So we need to hit maybe 2 lands in a row to play something relevant. So that's the problem with having a bit of a high curve. And yeah, there we go. This is an issue. I think we just attack for 2 since this is a 2-4 on his turn. And I'm fine with a trade. Opponent's also playing black-green, so he has a bit of a high toughness theme going on, so I can always just kill whatever has high toughness. I could also just Valorous stance this now, but in case he plays something more relevant like a Capital Fodder, I'll take 2. If he just passes a turn, I might just fire it off. Or just not fire it off. Okay, Oakshade Stalker. Alright, I guess I won't be attacking anytime soon. I think I'll Valorous stance at 2-4. Just to be safe. I might just have to play my removal on curve and take it from there. Alright. If I miss my... maybe I should have saved the Valorous stance and used it on my turn in case this tries to transform. So now, what do? I could double block and just take these both out. Like, I'll be trading off a Minister, but the 3-3 chipping in is a problem, and I might need to save this removal for something else. So I'm down for a double block. It could look pretty ugly if the opponent has a pump spell, but missing my land drops is not where you want to be, so we'll take it from here. Could see a pump spell too and get blown out, and there it is. Alright, the blowout. At least we're trading. It's like trading for the Oakshade Stalker, I guess, so... Alright, now I think we lock down this Stalker. Not that I want to, but... I really don't want this to turn nighttime and hit me for 6 out of nowhere, so hopefully the opponent doesn't follow up with anything too exciting. And we can hit our land drop and maybe play a 4-drop and try to take it from there. Yep, and we got rewarded for making the right call, so now we can do this. Play a land, and then next turn we'll see where we end up. Could also use the blood to discard Catilda. Although Catilda is already a problematic card anyways, and the opponent is missing his land drops, so I think I'm fine just taking it slow. I guess he hit his land drop now, but he isn't playing anything at least. Yeah, let's just lead with maybe a Socialite, I think. We aren't getting any life soon with the Heron, so this is fine. Could even eat a Bleed Dry. I'm totally fine with this exchange. We can curve out 4-drop into 5-drop maybe, and draw a card with the Wedding Security if we get a land. Gargantua, so he was waiting for that play. Alright, that's a little bit bad for me. Alright, rip, Blood Craze, Socialite. If we get a land, I think I'll trade for the 5-4, even though I could draw a card with this. Taking 5 is not necessarily, again, what I want happening, so I'll trade a Wedding Security for the 5-4, and we can always just discard lands later. And hope the opponent doesn't have another pump spell or interaction to remove this, since I need to get this out of the way. You can see a Wolf Strike. Alright, there we go, rip. And we'll be taking 8 because he gets the extra bonus from the pump, so we're in a rough spot. So I guess we're kind of in chump block mode. And yeah, this is the problem of having too much expensive stuff. I guess I'll just play Catilda and try to chump for the turn. And then if we get second land, maybe we can double spell and maybe trade off for the 5-4, as we'll probably see removal spell here. If we do, it's probably just game over. Yeah, it's probably game over because I'll be taking 5 and I have nothing as backup. So I'll at least chump the 5-4 here and hope I hit a land. I could also just discard the Heron Blessed Geist to make it more likely I hit a land. Since I really need to stop a double block. Never mind, I'm just dead. Good games. Yep. Took the risk, but yeah, didn't miss too many land drops, and the opponent managed to apply more bigger threats. So that was the risk of keeping the 2-lander there. But on the play, I didn't really want this. I honestly think it was the right call. Like, I don't really want to bottom with on the play, and we still hit our 3rd land drop. We just ran into a combat trick, and the opponent had a curve, so wasn't ideal, and we dropped back down to 7. So now you can see how difficult it is. Like, now that we drop back to 7, we probably need to win maybe 2 more games to reach back to 5. Maybe this video I just dedicate to Crimson Vow drafts and then do Strixhaven afterwards, since I do feel like I want to draft this set a little bit more. So, yeah, the problem of our deck, we need to hit our lands. So might just try to keep a 3-lander next time, avoid a 2-lander even on the play. Like, the opponent's black deck wasn't necessarily scary by any means. He was definitely playing some very medium cards. but we just fell too far behind with not hitting the land and having too much expensive stuff on our curves. So that's always one way to lose a game of Magic. But let's see if we have 3 lands in our opening hand this time, and yeah, we do. So this is a fine keep, and we're on the play, so even better. Maybe top deck a Heron of Hope eventually with the Traveling Minister, and maybe even get back from Dollhouse if it ends up dying. And I think I'm fine attacking. Ooh, Purifier on 3. Alright, let's just get in there. And then we can even start tapping the Minister and drawing cards every single turn. I would have loved maybe using Gift of Fangs, but yeah, let's just get in. And then we're fine attacking here since there's no flash creatures in this set for 2 mana. Could see a Fierce Retribution, actually. Yeah, funny enough, I maybe should have played around Fierce Retribution. Alright, he has it. Alright, I guess Grasp. Never mind. I guess he would have killed this anyways, even if I would have tapped it. So now I got to play the Purifier, and I do need to maybe attack with it to start gaining life, but that's okay. We might have a Gift of Fangs that can deal with something small. Hopefully no second Parasitic Grasp. And we can always bring our guys back, so I think I'm fine attacking. And if it dies, Dollhouse can bring our stuff back, so probably see a Fierce Retribution if the opponent kept up 3 mana and did nothing, and here it is. Alright, rip. But again, we can bring our guys back with Dollhouse once we get to land 5. So opponent's probably running a deck full of removal spells, so maybe a more controlling version of the black-white deck. So he could be holding on to the Sweeper as well. But luckily, maybe if we get our 5th land drop, Dollhouse can help us with the issue, and then we can also just start gaining life. Rot Type, okay. Alright, this is a little bit awkward. I guess I don't mind just using Imprisonment on this. Or use Fierce Retribution. Maybe Fierce is better since it's cheaper. He could always find a way to bring this back, but that's okay. Let's just pass the turn. Like, Imprisonment can maybe deal with something more important like a flyer. So he's probably going to do this main phase so he can gain life if he decides to attack. And the opponent does decide to attack here, so he could also have Undying Malice, but we have a way to deal with it next turn as well. Like we have the gift, we have the Imprisonment, and now we can give the Fangs a 2/2, but again, not sure if I'm just going to do it now. I guess he can buy it back with a life gain, so that's even worse. Okay, this is rough. Alright, Heron of Hope. I might be down to trade Heron of Hope for 1 of 2/2s because he's probably just playing to exploit here and bring out his 5/4. And then we can set up a turn where I guess I don't mind playing Catilda, actually. Although he's probably not going to exploit with Catilda around. You know what? I'm fine just losing this. Again, we have Dollhouse to bring everyone back, so I don't mind just forcing the issue on the Rot Tide. We can lock it down with Imprisonment and then get the Fangs a 2/2 potentially, so. We're just missing too many land drops here, so just gotta sometimes play this sort of game. This is almost like the last game that happened. We had some good cards, but missing the land drops, so I can force the issue, force him to sack the Courier Bat or the 2/2. I lose the Heron, I take 2. He's probably going to keep the Panic Bystander, I think. No. Yeah, I guess he values the life gain more, so this is okay. And then we take 2, we can shut down the Panic Bystander, and then also lock down the Rot Tide, and hopefully we don't run into any more issues here, so we'll gift. And we want to do this before. I guess it doesn't really matter which order we do it in. Either way, you know, it's still fine. So yeah, opponent also just has a really good white-black Lifegain deck. So let's see what we want to do. We're probably just going to drop the Heron Blessgeist next turn. We could also play Dollhouse, but I want to play Dollhouse when I can activate it, so I can maybe bring back a creature along with it. So we'll see. Hopefully no way for him to deal with Dollhouse, but Dollhouse is going to be our win condition. Alright, I guess we got land, so I might as well just Dollhouse now and maybe bring back something. Guess we can bring back like the Markov Purifier. And then Yeah, Purifier gain 1 life isn't bad. And if he wants to use a Fierce Retribution on it, that's fine. And then we can also just swing in for 1. And if he uses Retribution, then that's fine. He eats up another removal spell. And then I can just keep exiling things from my graveyard next turn, like Heron of Hope to gain even more life, or Traveling Minister, so we'll see. And the opponent also didn't play Scavenger last turn, so yep, alright, Lantern Flare, even, alright, I'll take it. Just gotta have the opponent use up his removal, and we can bring them back, so let's lead with, I think, Heron of Hope now. Or I can, yeah, I guess I'll bring back Heron. Let's bring the Heron of Hope. Since I just want to get him with the 1/1 flyer, I think. Move to combat. Could also exile the 5/4 end of turn, but if he has another Wrath type Gargantua, I can easily just sacrifice the Heron. Wow, is he actually going to use another removal spell on it? Alright, that's fine. I mean, I'll just keep taking the removal, and we'll just keep playing out more threats. And once the opponent's out of removal, we can just keep using Dollhouse to bring our stuff back, so... Alright, even Imprisonment here. Unfortunately, I won't be able to sacrifice it. But now I guess we can play out some of our stuff, so now we can play Vampire Slayer, play out Catilda, and then we can also just bring back the Traveling Minister and also just gain a life. So force the opponent to use his removal, and yeah, now he needs to face down Catilda, which can come back as an aura. So sometimes you just need to bait the removal out. Does he have a bleed drive for this? Another imprisonment? Okay. So game is not over. I could always trade a Vampire Slayer for the Drogskol Infantry, which I wouldn't mind as well. And then once I trade it off, I can just bring it back. So let's see, first thing is first, let's activate the Minister. And give this 3 power and attack. And if he doesn't trade, we can always just activate the Sigarda's Imprisonment and take it from there. And if he trades, we can again just bring it back with Dollhouse. So yeah, opponent has a lot of removal, but we also have ways to just outgrind him. And then if he tries to enchant one of his creatures, we can always Valorous Stance to kill it. So either way, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Alright, that's good. This is good. And then we can always just exile the Rod type. I'll just do it now. And then we'll just bring back our Vampire Slayer. Didn't have to do this main phase, honestly, but yeah, it's okay. Opponent could also have a Sweeper here. Because Black-White has the Path to the Peril. Voldaren Bloodcaster, okay, he needs to make a ton of blood token to go along with this. Okay, another Grizzly Ritual, so now he can maybe do this. That's annoying. Alright, Bloodcrazed Socialite was a nice pickup. I think we can begin by attacking. And then the Socialite can also just make a blood. I could also just loot away with this first. Maybe the game plan is just to find more resources. So I'm fine discarding the land, playing out the Bloodcrazed Socialite here. And then we can also just loot away the land end of turn as well, so this is fine. Could also just play land, actually. But I'll just say go. So his game plan might just to be to make a bunch of bats with the Voldaren Bloodcaster, so this is going to be a little bit rough to deal with, especially since Valorous Stance doesn't answer it. But he also just doesn't have 5 blood available, so he might just be attacking me for 4 and getting aggressive. So he's going to do that instead. Alright. This might be a little bit rough. Opponent has 4 blood if he decides to exile the Heron Blessgeist. So I don't think we want to be aggressive here, we just want to find more answers. So I think we can ditch the land and play, maybe find some better playables. Okay, second Blood Craze is great. Ooh, alright, so we can even double spell if we want. We'll just play the second Socialite. And we'll keep the land in hand. I mean, we'll keep the blood token in hand in case we need to loot away more lands, so we'll decline. And then we can get him for 4 and get him for even more damage the next following turns. Opponent's again keeping blood to maybe start animating. I guess if this transforms, we can just kill it. because it's going to become a 5 toughness creature. So I actually don't mind this transforming. He does get a 2/2 bat, but that's pretty much it. And the nice thing about these socialites is if they die, we can just bring them back again. So I think I'm in a pretty decent spot. Just need to make sure the opponent just doesn't kill me, like, doesn't deal too much damage and just kill me out of nowhere. Recluse, so this can transform into a 3/3. I can play my own Headless Rider to maybe offer to trade against it. So he's maybe debating between whether or not he wants to sack the blood token to transform this. Otherwise, he's just going to lose out on too much blood. I actually don't mind this transforming, to be honest. Because again, I do want to use Valor's Stance to take this out eventually, so I'm fine just attacking with these two. Panic Bystander isn't bad. I also gain life. I won't be gaining a ton of life. So he's probably planning to trade with the 2/1 here. So in this case, I could just take the turn off and play both of these. I could just offer to trade. If it trades and he makes a blood token, I can just kill the Voldaren Stinger and hope he doesn't have some way to get it back. So in that case, I might just play the Headless Rider just to be mana efficient. I do lose out on 1 life, so not sure if I want to play the standard Panic Bystander first, but the Headless Rider is more mana efficient. Yeah, I think we can leave with the Headless Rider. Or maybe I don't even attack with the 1/1, just attack with these two since they have Menace. Let's attack with both of these two first. We're fine still taking 4, and I'll keep again the blood token in hand just in case I need to loot away a land in the late game. And then we can just crash in for 6, which is a lot of damage. And I highly doubt he's going to get to 5 blood next turn, so we're fine just tapping out here and say go. I guess he can exile this and make it 4, so I'm hoping he doesn't have a way to gain. Yeah, I should have decided, yeah, I guess he was planning to use the Heron to exile, so he'll be at 4, so I'm hoping he doesn't have a way to main phase and make a blood. Otherwise, he can hit me for 6 damage. And I don't really want that happening, but at least I can maybe kill the next following turn, but it's still kind of scary. So I do want to just maybe just hope he doesn't have a way to generate blood here. Opponent plays Imprisonment. I guess he can exile now. That sucks. Alright. I guess he gets to smash me for 6, but I can still kill this then. And then maybe just try to race him on the ground. Yeah, this sucks. I should have played around it and maybe just played 1 creature out. So it's a little bit awkward here. He can hit me for 7 actually, so he does have a 2-turn clock. Or a 3-turn clock, I guess. Alright, this is rough. Not gonna lie. I guess the Ragged Recluse can eventually transform as well, so yeah, maybe should have just played around this, so this might just cost me the game, we'll see. I guess I can lead by discarding land. I don't think I'm in the mood to be aggressive by any means. Okay, we'll just Valor Stance this now, main phase, before he does anything stupid. And then I could just attack here and then attack with both and then bring back the Panic Bystander, keep the 1/1 back. And if he blocks, I'll just bring it back for the Dollhouse. I also just gain a life, so I think I'll keep the 1/1 back just to be safe. There's a chance he could, you know, pump his creature and take it from there. So yeah, opponent's just going to take the high risk approach and hope he deals 1 extra point of damage and deals with my 1/1 token. So I did make that. I'm hoping this misplay doesn't cost me the game. The opponent can now use the blood tokens to cycle for more playables. I'm still only on a 3-turn clock with the 2/2 flyer, so I'm not in that bad of a shape. But it's also just kind of a scary spot to be in. So if he kills any of these, I can just bring them back with Dollhouse, hopefully. He might even transform this next following turn. I think that's his game plan. And then the extra drain from this attack could be lethal if I don't deal with the Flyer or the Ragged Recluse. So yeah, I'm hoping I can maybe aggro Alpha next turn and then force him to block. So down to 3 life, I should be scared. So this is going to transform to 3/3. I'm hoping he doesn't get any good creatures for me to... Okay, Gluttonous Guess, wow, that's a problem. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. So I'm probably just going to die here. And that's not good, so I think I'm just going to Alpha Strike and hope for the best. He can still fall down to 1 and survive. But I can still gain some life, I guess, with a Panic Bystander, so I guess I'm not dead. He definitely wants to block the token, I think, but he also needs to block the 3/1, which is awkward. So if he blocks the 3/1, I'm guaranteed to make a 2/2 gain a life. And then if he blocks the 1/1, then I can get him for 5. So he needs to block both of these, essentially. So I think I'm in a decent shape here. And given the fact that I can also just gain life, that's quite nice. So we can also make a 2/2, bring back maybe Panic Bystander or Headless Rider, actually. Could be decent. Could see a removal spell. Alright, that's not good, but at least we get to gain the extra life here and make a 2/2 body. So now I could also just bring back the Headless Rider, I guess, since it can block the... or I guess I can bring back the Socialite, and that should be okay. The Bystander can give me the extra life. Actually, the Headless Rider also isn't bad, because if I can always double block and make a 2/2 and take it from there. So I think I'm fine playing out of lands to go. So definitely a grindy game here. And next turn, I guess I can also just bring back another creature and hit for 3. Opponent has a lot of card advantage with the blood tokens he's generating, so this is also just really difficult. But I'm happy doing a double block on the Odious Witch. And he's probably going to leave this 2/2 alone. I guess we can make some 3/3s next turn if I bring back the Blood Craze. Actually, I can bring back the Blood Craze, and it can also just become a 5/5 by gaining Menace with the blood tokens, so we'll see. Alright, Kindly Ancestor, so he has more life gain, so this is still going to be a little bit rough, although Desperate Farmer was a nice pickup. So what we can do is we can play Desperate Farmer, and I guess I can still get a Panic Bystander out here over Socialite, and then I guess I'm still fine attacking. And then if Panic Bystander dies, I also just gain life, so you can even make it harder for the opponent. He can also equip onto a creature and gain life as well next turn, so it's also not easy here. He does need to block for sure, because if he doesn't block, then opponent's trying to think of the KO here. I guess his plan is to not kill off any of my creatures. Okay, he does want to kill off the Bystander. And by doing that, I think I'll take out the Ancestor. He gets to enhance this with life gain, but we can still crash in for 6 and transform the Desperate Farmer, so we're still in a fine shape here. Dollhouse is just a really powerful card, as you can see. I think I actually take out the Odious Witch, maybe. The Witch is probably the biggest issue. It's just a very good attacker. And then, yeah, we'll take out the Ancestor for sure. And we put him down to 1, and then we can also just transform the Desperate Farmer and also gain life along the way. So then if the Odious Witch attacks, then we can still block it and trade and gain a ton of life. And next turn, the Depraved Harvester is a difficult creature to deal with. So opponent's down to 10 cards. I can also bring back Blood Craze Socialite next turn. And then maybe go for an Alpha Strike. Opponent can still gain a little bit of life left, like 2 here and then 3 here. I guess we also have a ton of life gain with the Depraved Harvester. If he has Adamant Will, I'm screwed since this is 4 power, and if he attacks, there's a life gain trigger on a stack. I guess I can always just block this regardless and gain 4. So, yeah, Depraved Harvester seems like a good creature that can attack next turn, and he decides to attack here, so this implies he has something. I'm going to trade for with the Depraved Harvester this turn. I can't imagine not to. What's this? If he has Adamant Will, I still gain 4, so I'm fine with this attack. And I guess if this trades, I can also just bring this back as a 3/3 lifelinker. And I'm hoping he doesn't have an answer to Dollhouse, since it's kind of one of my main win conditions for dealing with this opponent. So the opponent has 7 life total going, so next turn I can, I'm hoping he doesn't have Diagraph Scavenger here. That would be pretty rude. And as I say that, he plays a Diagraph Scavenger, so... Alright, and he might just take out my Desperate Farmer, so I don't gain 3 next turn. I think he wants to take out the Desperate Farmer. Since I can just gain another 3, and that's the problem that he needs to contend with. So let's think here. The opponent has... oh yeah, okay. He takes out that to prevent card advantage. Funny. Okay, I think what we can do is we can lead with Desperate Farmer, and then we can also play Heron of Hope to block well. So let's play Heron main phase. And then I'm fine attacking with maybe all. Yeah, he's probably just going to block the 3/3 because it's just going to gain life forever. I think I'm fine with this attack. And then Heron can also just block the 2/2. Fine with the trade, and I don't know why he's oopsing me. Does the opponent have like a sweeper or something? I don't know, he's probably just salty. I mean, he has a good deck, but yeah, sometimes you just need more threats. And Dollhouse is just a busted rare that we happily picked up. So, whatever. You can rope yourself and give me the free win if you want, so... I guess it isn't free, but... yeah, we're just gaining 8 here, and then even if Heron dies, we again can bring it back. And we can even swing and gain a ton of life as well, so... opponent even discards Traveling Minister, so... opponent has his own Heron of Hope, okay. So I guess this is just a board stall game. I could also just trade off my Heron of Hope and take it from there. As we draw another land. Yeah, I could just stay back and do nothing. If I attack with all 3, he can just give this lifelink. If I attack with a Heron, I could gain life back and then just reanimate it and make it into a 3/3 next turn. I guess that's not a bad idea as well. If I attack with all, I guess he can chump. I mean, I don't mind trading this. If I bring it back, it's a 3/3 along with the constructs. I think I go for the attack here. As funny as it seems, I mean, I know the opponent can deal more damage on the way back and gain more life, but I think I'm fine with this. And it can also just gain life by activating the Heron, so... I guess the opponent is just going to do this play. Okay, never mind. I maybe shouldn't have attacked. I think the opponent knew I wanted to trade, so... alright. Either way, I guess that'll just even things up, so I'm probably going to keep this back next turn. Since if he attacks with both, I'm still not winning the race. So it just could come down to decking, and the opponent is going to deck before me. So maybe that's just the plan. Just stay alive before the opponent, so the opponent can just deck him or herself. So I probably just don't want to attack next turn, and we should be fine. Traveling Minister, all right. I could always just chump the Heron if he decides to make this play. So I'm kind of flooding here. I think I'm going to say go. And I don't mind actually chumping his Heron and then making a 3/3 flyer and then attacking on the way back. It's not actually a bad idea. He could always pump his 2/2, but again, I'm fine trading. He loses down the blocker. And again, the game is probably just going to come down to decking, so I'll happily chump and gain some life. Being down to 9 is a little bit scary, so we'll do it. Since Dollhouse is busted, and then we can just get another... We can just make this into a 3/3, assuming he doesn't answer my board, so this is fine. And that being said, I could just attack as well next turn and get aggressive, since Heron can just gain a ton of life as well. But might even start a loot, try to loot to find some removal. But then he's going to get close to decking. Alright, pointed discussion. If I pointed discussion, I guess I'm still going to be 7 cards ahead, so I don't mind using this. I mean 2 cards ahead. Wedding security isn't bad. So first things first, let's bring back Heron of Hope. Move to combat. I guess I can attack with all. And then, do I want to play out Wedding Security? Might be more inclined to just gain life. I'm hoping he doesn't have removal here. That would kind of suck, because that would shrink my Heron down, but yeah, I think we can go for this. And hope this connects. And then, I guess I'm fine playing out land, since I feel like the opponent is going to deck himself before me, unless the opponent has a way to make me draw cards, so I'm hoping he doesn't have some sort of Fell Stinger or anything. I could have also discarded Wedding Security and brought it back, but which is fine. So maybe the game plan is now stay back and try to win the game through, preventing the opponent from decking. And this is a May ability, so I don't need to sacrifice a blood token if I want to enhance this and draw a card. We'll kindly take 5. Opponent's going to gain life. And I guess we fall back up to 9. We're just going to keep gaining 3 per turn. So I feel inclined that we can just attack. Let's just play the Wedding Security. Yeah, he could have removal, but so be it. Hopefully no trick. And then we can still play a swamp and we're good to say go. I guess we can kill the vampire. I guess the opponent forgot that Vampire Slayer can take out vampires. Alright. So now we can go down a blocker and maybe be a little bit more aggressive. That opponent's down to 4 cards, so I guess he might have a way. I don't know what good game means. I guess this means he doesn't, he has a sweeper or something, but I guess, alright. He might have misplayed, I guess, and, yeah, he might misplay. I don't know. Can he kill me from 13 here? I don't know. I don't think that's possible. One's going to gain a ton of life, but we can swing back for a lot more. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I guess I'll main phase a Heron first to gain even more life. And I might find drawing a card. I guess the opponent's going to deck before me, so I guess I'm fine. Yeah, sure. Extra damage matters too. And even a wedding announcement, so maybe it is just game over here. I guess it is. Alright, sweet. Alright, that was a bit of a grindy matchup, but now you can see the power of Dollhouse of Horrors. And we're back up to 5. So yeah, the Lifegain matchups are always back and forth. It depends on who can gain the most value. And luckily enough, we had Dollhouse, obviously, so even had to force the opponent to use cards like Fierce Retribution and Lantern Flare on some of our tokens that we were making. But we were able to just rebuild the board after casting and activating it a couple of times. So definitely don't pass Dollhouse of Horrors. The card is a bomb, and it's a huge mistake. I think even in a even in the worst deck possible, like blue-white, it's still quite good. Because like you can just bring back those creatures, those flying creatures, or lantern bearers with haste, and if you just keep bringing them back instead of casting their disturb half, you can just get a whole team of large creatures eventually. So you'd be happy playing Dollhouse of Horrors in any deck. I'm surprised I was past it like 4th pick. I think that's a huge mistake. Definitely a huge mistake. Like, I can't imagine a deck where I don't play Dollhouse. Maybe if I'm hyper aggro and I don't want to wait until turn 5. But even then, like, there's no being hyper aggro in this format isn't great. All right, this is an okay hand. We have 2 3-drops. We're on the draw with some Gift of Fangs as early interaction. I think I'll try it. And if the opponent plays a turn 2 Mana Dork like Taxidermist, we can take it out with Gift of Fangs. Restless Bloodseeker is a vampire, so I need to make sure I don't try to target it with a Gift of Fangs, otherwise that would be pretty bad. But I don't mind throwing out a Headless Rider, maybe offering a trade for this eventually. So opponent's probably in the high toughness deck, given that he's in black-green with a 1/3 early on. Desperate Farmer I can take out with Gift. So let's think here. I do want to gift a 2/2, but not now. So what do I want to play? I don't really want to trade for the 1/3 either necessarily. Could just play maybe the Gluttonous Guest and take it from there. Although if I play the Gluttonous Guest, he's incentivized to attack with 2/2. Actually, I could just play Headless Rider and offer to trade for the 2/2. Maybe save Gift for something else. My trading here isn't the worst, although Dormant Grove is a problem now. So this is 4 toughness. I can at least answer it with Valorous Stance next turn. So let's see, I could take the risk and use Pointed Discussion, but given that the opponent has a Desperate Farmer, I'm just going to use it on here right now and just attack for 3, and then the moment he tries to put a counter onto the 2/4, I can just Valorous Stance. Just to waste his turn. Ruro Recruits, alright. I can also have this thing transform first, before I take it out, as the opponent is now diversifying his counters. So interestingly to note, I could, but the opponent isn't trying to load up on a 6 toughness, so I think it's fine killing this now. And I can keep the 3/1 the creature back here. And then now, I think I'm fine playing Desperate Farmer. In case he attacks, we can offer to trade and enhance our 2/2. And funny enough, I might actually block the 1/1, although he can make this into a 2/2 Sorin. Alright, speaking of bombs, there's a bomb. So we need to get some flyers going. I mean, he's just going to enhance his flyer here. Dollhouse would be great. Could Dollhouse here, but we have nothing to get back. So I think we can be greedy here, get a point of discussion to hopefully draw into something relevant. Maybe we need to Imprisonment on the flyer and do an attack next turn, we'll see. But Sorin is a huge problem. Unfortunately, I can't answer it. So I need to maybe answer the flyer first and attack Sorin next turn. And we do have enough power. Although, he can always fall down to 1, so this isn't good. We are definitely in trouble. Alright, Sorin is one of those bombs I was talking about. So now what? Yep, this isn't good. I think it's just game over if we don't answer Sorin. I can always Imprisonment the 4/5 to slow him down. Even though, I mean, I could have also Imprisonment the 1/4 in attack, but then he would have a 4/5. Either way, I think we're in a rough shape here, so we might as well just say go. And he's probably going to make another 2/2 flyer next turn, but this at least slows him down. So, yeah, another Mythic Bomb rare that people complain about in this format, and another one. Alright, you got it. I don't think I can beat Howlpack Piper and Sorin. That's the reason to be in green-black when you open up Sorin and Howlpack Piper, but definitely not a color combination I'm too excited to draft. But when you open up the bombs, you just play them, and that's what the opponent did. So back to 7. So just back and forth right now. No win streaks currently so far. But I have hopes that maybe if after we finish this draft, we can maybe do another draft and maybe get up to 7. But kind of sad that our white decks are maybe gonna end the streak around 4 wins, since I was really looking forward to recording a 7-win white deck, and this one did seem like one that can get there. But you know, this is Crimson Vow. It's not as, I mean, there's bombs, but it's not as insane as War to Spark. It's, yeah, it's not as bad as War to Spark, I have to say, so this is a fine keep. And Wedding Invite plays very well with the Wedding Security eventually, so that's also great. Do I lead with the Purifier or the Headless Rider? I'm not looking to, I guess I want to play the Purifier since the 1-2 can just trade for the Headless Rider, and that's not where I want to be. But also playing white-black life gain with Traveling Minister and Courier Bat in the graveyard, so he can eventually loop back the Courier Bat and gain life and bring back the Traveling Minister or any other creatures he put in the yard, so we'll see. If he passes a turn, I'm definitely not attacking. Vampire Slayer can hold off my Purifier, so I need to be careful. So probably just play the Heron just to be safe and pass a turn. And then we can lead with the Wedding Security into maybe point the discussion and start drawing cards, especially since we can make it unblockable with the Wedding Invitation. And we can also draw another card end of turn with Purifier, assuming we have 2 mana left open. Minister, so it's going to be a grind fest, alright. And a Desperate Farmer, so he can make this into a 4-3 if he transforms. So the 3-3, I have to assume the Vampire Slayer is going to start chipping in. But for now, again, we just want to lead with the Wedding Security and attack for 2. And set up a powerful board state. So how's the game going to come down to? Whoever kills, I guess, the Minister might just be the winner. But then Undead Butler can get back the Minister along with Courier Bats. So it's kind of rough. I'm definitely going to take 3 here. Opponent gains a life. I'm not going to block this since it just trades for any Vampire. And I need to get my engine going in order to maybe win the game. If he keeps up 2 mana, he might have a Fierce Retribution for my Wedding Security, so I might want to be careful. As the opponent plays as a Scavenger, which is fine. He's just going to exile his own creature. Alright, that's fine, and that's fair enough. And then next turn, I guess we can always point the discussion and draw a card off of the Wedding Security. And then play Panic Bystander, which I also like. So first things first, let's play point the discussion. I mean, I can also just hold on to the blood token for now and play out my 3 drops instead. Maybe a Headless Rider is better, and then once we have mana to draw a card and get value off the Purifier, I'd rather just have that go on. So let's just attack for 2. And then say go, we can trade for either Vampire Slayer or Diregraph Scavenger. Whichever one he attacks with, I'm fine. And we have the Headless Rider to make a 2-2 once it dies. So I'm probably just going to block the Vampire Slayer here. If he pumps a Scavenger, I'll definitely use a Headless Rider, of course. So I'm actually happy that he's doing this, since if I trade here, a 2-2 can hold off the Vampire Slayer now, so this was a pretty nice trade. He could also be just trying to get it back, but, I mean, I can't really take 3 forever, so... Transforms into 4-3. Almost forgot about this, but that's fine. Courier Bats, I guess he can bring back Scavenger, so very grindy game plan from the opponent. I can maybe sub a double block with the Gluttonous Guest. So now I need to keep the Heron of Hope back to hold off the Courier Bats. So I have 7 mana open. I can still draw a card and gain a lot of life this turn. Yeah, I guess I can still do that. Let's activate Wedding Invitation on Wedding Security. Move to combat, attack for 5. Sacrifice the blood token. And then draw a card, and then we also just gain 5, and then we can draw a card and end the turn with the Purifier, so this is okay. I guess Panic Bystander will also transform into a 3-5, so that was a really sweet turn. And then we'll draw a card for sure. This game could also just come down to decking. If he attacks with a 5-3, I can double block and take it from there. And then the question is, which creature do I kill? Not sure here. It's definitely rough. I can always just attack with the Heron and use Fierce Retribution and take it from there. This can also start attacking. I mean, I could always attack with the Culprit, but then he can always bring it back with Butler. So this is rough. I could also just kill the Butler now, I assume. I mean, I guess I could always kill a Scavenger, but if I attack with the Butler, the problem is that, I mean, if I attack, he just gets back the Scavenger to use it again. So in a sense, he gets to drain me twice. So, given that his life... I mean, I might just use this on the Undead Butler. Or use it on the Traveling Minister. I just think this card is so annoying. I just don't have any ways to exile, which is a little bit unfortunate. So, I could just take it slow and do nothing. Like, I could also... Yeah, I might just take it slow and do nothing. Because I might want to have a turn where I attack with the Heron and then Fierce Retribution and take it from there. And the Flyer, I think, is a bigger problem. So we'll just pass a turn and do nothing. If he pumps his Courier Bat, I can Fierce Retribution it. Although the bigger issue is probably the Minister in the long run. Decides to pump the Death Toucher instead. I mean, okay, I guess I'll trade. This is not the worst trade. And I already have a payoff for Blood, the Wedding Security. And we also gain 2 life here. Another Scavenger. Yeah, this is a rough match. If the opponent just keeps playing Scavengers and getting them back, that's going to be a little bit awkward. But at the same time, I'm also not in a ton of pressure. The Imprisonment is now annoying. Alright, so I might need to start getting aggressive here. So now what? The Flyers are a problem. Could just attack with these 2 ground creatures and take it from there. I guess I want to retribute the 2/3 so I can draw another card. Yeah, I can draw a card end of turn, the Purifier. Although this also just deals with vampires all day, so I might just kill the Courier Bats. This is all really bad. Maybe I just kill the Butler because it gets it back anyways. The 2/2 is also just very annoying. Yeah, the 2/2 being able to block the Wedding Security is a problem. Maybe I still need to kill this. It's not like I have a choice, and then I might as well attack with all. I can still draw a card for Wedding Security, and then I know I'm offering the trade with the Purifier, but at least this can take out the 2/2, and the 6/6 can maybe get in if he doesn't block the 6/6. I can still gain a life and draw a lot this turn. Okay, I guess I won't be drawing a card. Yeah. Alright, this is a rough match. Yeah, he wants to double block and take this out. Alright, so I guess I might need to use the Blood Token to... Opponent has some good trades. We still have a Cackling Culprit. So maybe the game plan now is Dollhouse of Horrors. Yeah, maybe that's just the game plan. I guess he can bring back the stupid bat and then recur to... Oh my god, yeah, I guess I forgot about this play. And then he can just keep bringing stuff back. Yeah, this is a problem. I need to find Dollhouse to win this, I guess. Because the opponent seems to have a much more grindier engine than I do. So now he can gain a life, attack me for 3, bring back the Courier Bat, and then bring back the Scavenger and exile my graveyard. Which is not what I want. So the Undead Butler doing a lot of work in this type of deck. It doesn't bring back anything. Alright, oops. Yeah, I think that's... Okay, that might have helped. Yeah, I guess that might have helped now. So now I can play the Parent Blessed Geist and maybe start racing the opponent. I have 9 mana available if I play both, so I want to just keep a land in my hand, so we'll tap with both. Since we do need to get aggressive against this opponent if he's just trying to chip in with Flyers all day. Play out the Parent Blessed Geist. Play out the Bloodcrazed Socialite. And I'm fine trading with a Flyer here. So how does this work? I guess he misclicked. Yeah, he could have brought back the Scavenger, so that might have just cost him the game. I'm definitely going to trade for one of these bats, and maybe just take 3 so we can maybe start racing on the ground. And there's a chance I can find an enchantment eventually to also just bring back the Heron Blessed Geist. So hopefully no more ways to recur. So this is the version of the black-white deck that's not too focused on Heron, but more focused on just recurring things over and over. I'm not sure which version is better, but I think the Heron of Hope with Traveling Minister is just too powerful to dismiss. So where's my whatchamacallit? Where is my Dollhouse of Horrors? I mean, if he's gonna rope and end the game for me, then I'll take it, because this opponent does seem kind of scary. I'm gonna deck before my opponent. All right, just concedes. Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, thank you. I wasn't expecting to win that. I mean, whoever you are, if you're watching this video, thank you very much. I'm trying to get the top 3 Mythic. And, you know, I'm not saying this in a, the green way. I mean, I'm pretty sure your deck was better than mine. And if you didn't misclick that 3-5, you would have easily just won the game. But I'll take this. Thank you very much. I wasn't really expecting to win that. I mean, I think you were still in good shape because you could have at least maybe start gaining life with the Traveling Mist or attacking for 3, but I guess you would be taking more damage on the way back, and you probably had a bunch of lands in hand potentially, but you also had a blood token to maybe sack, I think, in that match, so I wasn't sure if I was even supposed to win that game. Like, maybe I can hope to draw in the Dollhouse of Horrors eventually to outgrind the deck, but I'm really surprised there was a concession. I mean, you could have also just exiled my Heron Blessgeist opponent and maybe found a land, because you were in no shape of dying, you know, no way. You would have maybe taken some damage on the ground from the way back, but you'd still be alive for maybe like 4 or even 5 turns, assuming you got something good off the top. But yeah, I guess that misclick might have just yeah, basically won me that game. Huh. All right, I mean, we'll see, and they're currently up to at least 5 wins now, so we broke the white curse, unable to get to past 4 wins. And this hand is okay. We're on the play, and we have Headless Rider on 3. And again, given our lack of 2-drops, I think we just have to keep this hand. As much as I like Traveling Mist on turn 1 into 2-drop into 3-drop, with this type of deck that's always trying to get to turn 4 for our power spike, it's going to require us to at least keep a slower, grindier hand, so... Trainee, alright. I'm fine actually trading with the Trainee with the 3-drop, honestly. We'll love this on turn 1. I'm fine trading here. Because if this gains a counter, you can just place it somewhere else, so that's a little bit annoying. Point of discussion main phase, that's interesting. Alright, I guess I'll attack and offer to trade then. And I just want to attack first. And then which one do I lead with? I think the Socialite is just a better body. Alright, I'm happy with the trade. Could have also made this indestructible. Alright, let's think here. So, if I play the Heron, and then follow the Minister's still going to have Summoning Sickness. I think the Socialite is okay, although, he could have a blocker, and that might force me to use the blood. So I think I'm fine. I'm better off the Heron, although I don't mind getting him for 5 if the opponent is taking it slow here, so, you know what, this is interesting. I think I leave the Blood Crazed Socialite here. And maybe I'm fine still sacrificing a blood and crashing in for 10 for 5, since that's a lot of damage. Keep in mind the opponent's also in black-white, so he also has ways to gain life, so not necessarily also in the best spot. So this is fine. We can still attack for 3 without sacrificing the blood token, and then play out the Heron of Hope, and then take 2 on the way back. Next turn we can Minister and Wedding Invitation, and also just gain 5 off of this. Could see a removal spell here too. Catapult Fire, so this is interesting. He might be able to transform this eventually. So interesting to note, I could just kill this now, which I don't mind. He could also be keeping up 2 mana for Fierce Retribution, which I should also be wary of. But let's see, first things first, let's play the Wedding Invitation. And then I Valorous Stance here, I think. Yeah. And this way I can still crash in for 3. He could be holding up Fierce Retribution here, could have an Adamant Will, okay. So if he has Fierce Retribution, he has to choose an option. If I play a Traveling Minister, it's more likely he kills my Heron of Hope. So I think I'm actually just going to attack with these two, and then we'll see which one he wants to use Fierce on. And I don't want to sacrifice the Blood token because he could have the Retribution. And I just want to be aggressive here. And then the opponent might have a Sweeper, but I'm still going to play out the Minister just because it's just too powerful not to do here. So I'm hoping he doesn't have Path to the Peril to blow out my board. But I still have Dollhouse of Horrors to maybe bring back my creature, so we'll see. So hopefully no black man, double black into Path to Peril. Otherwise, I'd be pretty far behind, and I need to rebuild my board. I saw Shieldbreaker, so if he's playing out creatures, this implies he might not have anything, as the player plays Circle Confinement to mostly answer Traveling Minister. Alright, that's fine. I still get to gain some life here. I can also crash in for 5 and make 3 and make this unblockable, or just play out another Heron. I should maybe kept a white mana, so that's oops. Yeah, I should have played my white mana. Yeah, I could just crash in for 5 here. Why not? Because he's playing the double block maybe anyway, so we're just gonna move to combat. And hope the opponent doesn't have a sweeper or any ways to gain life, since this is a lot of damage. And I could have again kept up the white mana to gain extra life, but alright, I guess we get the life gain anyways. But we could have actually activated the Heron and gain even more life. Distracting guys, so luckily the opponent isn't playing anything too scary. If the opponent attacks here, I could always Fierce next turn on the 2-3, but I think the opponent wants to play it safe, so we'll play land, and then we can just activate both Herons and take it from there. I don't think I'm going to play Wedding Security here, just want to win the game with Flyers, I think, in case he, again, has a sweeper. And I'm not going to trade for anything, so we should be fine. Could see a Fierce Retribution here. Yep, and that's definitely... Ooh, Piercing Light, interesting, so he might have a second copy. Alright, don't see this too often. I guess he used it just to scrying. Alright, I'll take that, and then we'll just gain 1,000,000 life. And then... Sigo. And if he has a removal, then that's fine. We still have a Wedding Security to follow up. Although I'd be losing a bunch of creatures in the process. And I can Fierce Retribution to Heron Blessed Geist and win the game. Even if he has Undying Malice, this comes in tapped. Alright, so that's sweet. We got back up to 5, so we're never going to break the rank 5 Mythic streak, I guess. So, yeah. I guess we just need to keep playing Crimson Vow. Since playing Strixhaven Draft, Quick Draft will probably be considered cheating. Even though I don't mind going back to that draft. I think we just need to get this, hopefully get our final boss, and then do another Premier Draft, Crimson Vow, and then try to get some Strixhaven going. Yeah, let's round this out with a 7 wins, but now I'm kind of happy that we got the 6. Alright, opening hand, Traveling Minister, there it is. Well, I mean, we just need to hit a couple land drops, but can you really say no to turn 1 Minister into 2-drop? I don't think so. Let's hope we get some lands and get lucky here. Turn 1 Epic here, alright. Vampire Slayer should be pretty good in this matchup, given that the opponent might just be a black-red Vampires deck. We'll see. Minister can help us sustain a bit while we hold the fort with the Vampire Slayer, so definitely no blocks. I think we're okay, red-black. Alright, Doom Dissenter is an interesting card to be playing in black-red, as we missed another land drop, so we could have an issue here. If we don't get land 3, we might just have to try to survive and take it from there. Maybe, yeah, this is kind of the problem I was talking about. Kept another sketchy opening hand, but at least the opponent is not applying a ton of pressure. In the long run, if he attacks with both, this could imply maybe a sure strike. And I might just have to try to take 2 and eventually bait it out on a later term. Maybe once I get my land 3, I can try to bait it out to hope I top deck a 4-drop. Mindleash School, okay, I guess we can exile something expensive from our hand. So it's probably the Wedding Security. Since it's not guaranteed I make blood, and I'd rather have flyers in this match, in these games, so goodbye Wedding Security. Now I guess we'll have to trade for a 2-drop here, a 2/2 eventually. Probably block the token, since he can always bring this back somehow with some sort of Undying Malice effect, or bring it back from the graveyard and try to mess up my hand even more while I'm missing these land drops. So it's not looking good here as we finally get a land drop, but once we get to land 4, we might be able to start holding off these 2/2s. Now the question is, do I even trade for the 2/2s? In the black-red Vampires deck, there's some pretty big Vampires that I might need to block, although most of them have Menace anyways. So either way, they're not great, but if I still trade off, the thing is I can bring them back with Dollhouse eventually. So I think it's worth maybe just trading here. And this effect might imply he has a way to exploit the Mindleash School, but if he's attacking with the token, I'll gladly block the token here. So we just need a 4th land to stabilize. Opponent's playing Doom Dissenters. I guess he could just have Fell Stingers and exploit creatures in his black-red deck. So sometimes you don't always end up with a nuts black-red Vampires deck, you end up with an exploit deck instead, and this is kind of what we're seeing. So I'm happy that I actually didn't trade off the Ghoul, because if I did, he could have brought back, and Gluttonous Guess is fine. So this can hold the fort for the time being, and give us enough time to eventually get to our Heron of Hopes, or Dollhouse of Horror. If he plays a big exploit creature, I probably need to get rid of the Traveling Minister, and the big exploit creature I'm talking about is the 5-mana 5/4. Even getting some value by discarding the Persistent Specimen. So, halt the ground, and then play flyers and try to kill the opponent. I think that's the name of the game. And I might even discard a creature next turn just to hit my lands. And then if he attacks with these 2, I might just block the 2/2, or, I mean, blocking the 1/1 isn't the worst either. This way it gets rid of another exploit fodder, although he already has Epic here to exploit. So the opponent is not missing out any ways to exploit here. So definitely a grindy deck. Hopefully no, again, 5-mana 5/4 make me sack a creature. Another Doom Dissenter. Okay, so he has no limits. Alright, Heron of Hope was a nice gift, so now we can play Heron main phase and also just gain 2. Could be a Braid in his in his hand here, but I have a second backup Heron of Hope, and then maybe Dollhouse can start grinding him out once I hit land 5 or 6, and we'll just take it slow. So luckily the opponent isn't applying a ton of pressure, just setting up a bunch of random exploit creatures, and Falkenrath Celebrants is a huge threat, but I can now start gaining even more life with the Heron. I think I'll play the Heron over Valorous Stance, since this is more mana efficient, and I should be okay even if I take 4 this turn. So yep, we'll gain 3, attack for 3, and start getting aggressive. And I'll just be taking 1 per turn from the Falcon Raft Celebrant. So opponent not with a very scary deck. A bunch of these random 2-drop dorks, not really doing much, since it doesn't seem like he has any exploits creatures yet. So we'll take 4. Could see another Mind Leech Ghoul. Anya, alright, that's a problem. I guess I can just kill Anya, but he can just get it back with Valorant Stance. So this is rough. I might need to just kill it now, maybe slow him down in case he uses Blood Fountain and take it from there. And I can also just gain a ton of life this turn. So I'm down to just kill it now. It's just a huge issue. And I don't really want to take 4 from this. And now we can pump our Heron of Hope. And even gain some life. Activate to gain some life and then attack. And then we might be able to kill him quick enough before he gets back Anya. And also gain enough life so he doesn't burn us out, so we'll see go. I could also discard the Heron Blessed Geist and then buy it back with the Dollhouse. Not sure if that's worth it since this is just a bigger body anyways. But we'll see. So I guess his plan was Anya just sacrifice his dorks to try to win the game. But at least the stance can slow him down a bit. And then we can still gain a ton of life, so we can offset the life loss. So yeah, Blood Fountain, not as good as you would imagine. It's not Crawl from the Cellar. The last set Crawl from the Cellar was pretty dumb and busted, since you could have easily just brought a creature back ASAP. But at least, I guess we can kill him next turn if he doesn't have a land to sacrifice with Anya. So, I mean, he's most likely going to get a land because he can always use a blood to discard something here. But at least we can crash him for 5 and play another 3/3 flyer, which can help us end the game. So opponent has to decide if he wants to use Blood Fountain or kill a flyer here to slow me down. Most likely going to use Blood Fountain, get back Anya, play Anya, and I guess fall up to 9. Yep, since that's kind of like what he needs to do. So he needs to, so we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if he has a land, he can survive by 1 life. But he will still have a ton of life to gain, and will also just be smashing him with 7 power flyers. So luckily that I actually took out Anya, because again he has to tap out 4 mana just to bring it back, and if that's his win condition he's relying on, it's not very reliable. So hope he just doesn't have a land here and we can just take 4. Since the flyers again can just help us close out. And we're at a pretty healthy life total, so alright, Scavenger instead. Alright, that's reasonable, just to prevent us from to prevent himself from dying, but he's still in a bad spot. And he might have to discard Doom Dissenter next turn just to get his land drop, but I think it's still a 2-turn clock. So if I play Dollhouse, it doesn't accomplish much. I think it's fine discarding here, and then just playing Socialite, since we can gain the extra life, and then maybe find something else. I could also do something cute in Dollhouse and discard Socialite and play Dollhouse, but I do just like having the extra threat, and we'll just play it out now. And then Traveling Minister, pump, doesn't matter what we pump here, and just attack with our flyers, and then even if he gets a land into Anya, we should still be fine. As we gain so much life here. Okay, so this turn was really nice. And there's no sweepers in black-red besides Vampire's Vengeance, but that only deals 2 damage to all. So he would need to like have double Vampire's Vengeance to maybe take out this team, but even then I would have some Blood-Crazed Socialites, and I can bring it back with Dollhouse. So either way, even if he gets a land into Anya, I think he's dead, so he would need to find some sort of sweeper here. And yeah, even if he plays this, he's just dead, so luckily I took this out while I can. And we should be okay. I don't think he has any outs here. Just too slow of a deck. I mean, you shouldn't be playing triple Doom Dissenter, I don't think, in a black-red deck. Plus specimens. I can imagine if you have things to exploit like Rot-Tide Gargantua and Felsinger, but I don't think it's reliable. So we're back at top 5 Mythic again, and then yeah, managed to get to 7 wins with Black-White Lifegain, which is awesome. So yeah, we finally got to score one with a white deck. So yeah, do I do another Crimson Vow? Do I do another Strix? Do I just move back into Strixhaven and cheat my way to top 3 Mythic? I think. I think given that I already got number 3 with Strixhaven, I think we might want to just up the challenge and try to get to past top 5 with Premier Draft Crimson Vow. So yeah, let's add this to our collection since we got the 7 wins with it, and yeah, not a bad deck. And yeah, here's the snapshot, guys. It's fine. It's a fine Black-White Lifegain deck. There's obviously Catilda as our bomb rare and Dollhouse of Horrors, which were great. Not too much top end. We mostly had a power spike again on turn 4 with the Heron of Hopes and the Socialites. And if you're able to have Traveling Minister of Heron of Hopes, that was a powerful way to stabilize against opposing threats while getting in for damage every single turn. Didn't have too many 2-drops. Our interaction also just wasn't all that amazing. No bleed dries. But we had a ton of 4-drop evasive threats, and Fierce Retribution, Stance, and Imprisonment were all pretty excellent regardless. And we even had to pass a bleed dry during this draft just to have Valorant Stance just to stay open. And I don't think that's wrong. Like, sometimes Valorant Stance is just too efficient. It, again, can't answer smaller creatures, but either way, with bleed dry, you want to answer creatures with high toughness anyways, since you're better off sometimes just playing Imprisonment over Bleed Dry to answer something smaller. So anyways, this card is for dealing with big bombs, and even if we didn't exile Anya, we still managed to force the opponent to try to get back to 4 mana to draw it back again. So not a bad Black-White Lifegain deck. Yeah, there was one game where I thought we were going to lose and get stuck at, I think, four wins. It was against another Black-White Lifegain opponent, which, you know, they misclicked. So, yeah, they gave us the win and just decided to concede, even though I don't think they were losing by any chance. But either way, thank you very much, whoever you are, for giving me that win. I needed it. But, yeah, let's hit our done button. And I think we're just going to do more Crimson Vow. I need to hit my top 3 Mythic ranking with it. And then I'm not going to do any cute pack one pick ones here. We're just going to dive right on in and stop wasting time. And then next video, I might just focus on Strixhaven Draft and do a re-review of it and see what the bots prioritize. Usually when I draft with the bots with Strixhaven, the Teamer deck is always open for some reason. I guess they don't respect green enough, which is a strong color in Strixhaven. Either way, I've come down on Heated Debate. I think outside of Heated Debate, all the red commons aren't just very good. So I still prefer drafting white and blue over red, obviously, and then black and green are both decent as well. So we'll see. Pack one, pick one. What do we have the fine pleasure of opening? Ooh, again? Alright, I mean, if we draft once, white once, we'll draft it again, and maybe this time we end up white-blue. So we get to do this again and kind of show off the power of white-blue if we can. Otherwise, we'd be looking at Flame Blessed Bolt. And yeah, I think Catilda's definitely the right choice here. I wouldn't actually fault someone for taking Flame Blessed Bolt if they really like red a lot. But white is also a very powerful color in this set, and they have a lot of great commons. So yeah, we'll take Catilda, and if white is open, we can hope to wheel maybe Nurturing Presence or Kindly Ancestor, but Flame Blessed Bolt will definitely get snatched up here, assuming we're in a table with people who know how to draft. So we'll take Catilda. And after taking Catilda, ooh, Heron of Hope, but it's probably just Bleed Dry. Like, we've seen Heron of Hope's wheel, so I gotta just take the best common in the set, or at least contender for number 1. This is our number 1 or number 2. It does feel bad actually taking Flame Blessed Bolt over Bleed Dry, but I've actually seen some streamers do it. Some of the top drafters in Magic, and I actually don't think they're wrong either, because again, there's always a possibility that this is just too clunky as removal. But come on, this effect is just too powerful. Yeah, either way, if we take Heron, I mean, it does keep us open. We could be white-blue, and I do want to draft white-blue, but blue-dry is just too good here. And yeah, maybe this is a sign we just end up black again, or white-black. If there was, however, maybe Brian Comer, I might just take that over Bleed Dry. Funny enough, since I think Brian Comer is at the similar power level of Bleed Dry in this format. Okay, there's an Ancestor, Heron of Hope, and Twin Blade Geist. I think both of these are obviously better than Twin Blade Geist. Twin Blade Geist is fine, but it's not too different from Drog Skull Infantry. Between these two, I think I have Heron of Hope higher. It's just an evasive threat that can help us close out the game. It plays better with Traveling Minister, giving the extra life gain. Like, obviously, this is a good 3-drop, and I'd be happy playing this in any white deck. But I think I'd take Heron here. There's also Blood Crazed Socialite, but this plays better in a Vampires deck, which is mostly black-red. Whereas Heron of Hope is great in black-white, and also just a great white common overall, even if we end up white X or white blue. So Heron is great. We'll take it up here. And then now we can take maybe a Courier Bat, although there's a Wedding Invitation. I mean, it's not guaranteed that we end up with any vampires. So I'm actually down to just take the Courier Bat, since this is only really playable in the black-white Lifegain deck. And this is more archetype specific, and there's nothing else in the pack I care about too much. Invitation would keep us open, and trust me, this is a very strong card, and if you do end up with a bunch of black vampires, it's great, but we can always just end up white-black with not a ton of vampires, and that can be awkward, like if we don't have any Socialites or Wedding Warriors, the 5-mana 4/4s that draw a card when we attack and sack a blood token, then it's not great, so I'll take a Courier Bat. And we saw the power of Courier Bat with one of our opponents in the previous matchups. Okay, guess we can maybe take a Gift of Fangs. Not really an exploit deck. White-red and is not where I want to be. But black-red could be open. But I'm still going to take one of our on-color cards. These blue cards are also just okay. So we'll take Gift of Fangs. And then Catapult Fodder is okay. Could just take a Grizzly Ritual. I don't think we're going to set up for a high toughness deck. Like, this blocker's fine, but I'd rather just have the Gluttonous Guest on turn 3, which does a similar job with the Catapult Fodder, but at least gives us a blood token. Not a big fan of Grizzly, but I'll play a copy. So maybe we can be base black since we're seeing these late black cards. Probably take the Gargantua. And then we might end up, I guess our decision now is to be base black. Not seeing too many white cards get passed to us outside that one pack with Heron of Hope and Kindly Ancestor. So we'll see. I guess we can just base our decisions off of being base black here, and we might have to abandon white if white is cut off. But black is definitely one of the stronger colors. I think the commons in white are better than the ones in black, but I still think they're both good. I guess we take another Courier Bats. There's also Reckless Impulse if we want to take a hedge towards red, and this is quite a good card draw, but I'm still in the black-white life gain train, and there's maybe some ways we can gain life even in black-red. We can hope to leverage this, and Will's also medium, so take a Courier Bat. And Nurturing Presence is not great unless we latched onto an early flyer like Lantern Bearer. Only really good in white-blue. I think I'll just take a Mind Leech School if we end up with, again, a bit of an exploit package. And, alright, some late blue cards. Could take Ragged Recluse. So blue-black exploit could be an option. We can also just take a Ragged Recluse for black-red blood. Not sure where we want to end up, but it does seem blue is fairly open, so we might just take the Chill of the Grave. Like, it does seem like we have a bit of, we do see some late exploit cards. Or just take Ragged Recluse. Yeah, Ragged Recluse could also be reasonable in the black-white life gain deck if we still end up there. Not sure. And then this pack is just whatever. I guess we can always take a Bloody Betrayal along with Mind Leech School. I've actually seen people pull off this combo, and it's been kind of cute. Dawnhard Geist can also gain life whenever we cast an enchantment. So not sure. Maybe this is the game where we play Dawnhard Geist. It's not very good, but it's a blocker, and it does have a bit of life gain synergy if you need some. So I guess we have Altsubine, a life gain that maybe should have taken the Selhoff and Tumor there, but it's also a card I don't care about too much. Yeah, there's Attendance, but it's probably just another Bleed Dry. I know this is a bomb, guys, but come on. We don't know if red's open. Like, we barely saw any red in the last pack. I think I'm just going to take the bleed dry here. Like, I know you can be baited into taking this, but like, we know we're in black, and I don't think it's wrong just taking bleed dry here over Olivia's Tens. Like, trust me, this is a great card. It's a bomb. It's not like a game-ending bomb, but it's really powerful, but we're nowhere near red, and bleed dry is just perfect. Otherwise, I'd probably take the Olivia's over Heron of Hope, but I'll take a bleed dry here just to stay on color. And Blood Type Harvester. Okay, we might have missed out, but Blood Type Harvesters in this pack. There's also Drog Skull Infantry. If we do end up black-white, I mean, we do have some decent 2s already. This is like the best 2-drop in white, but it's not like a high power level card that you need to prioritize necessarily. Does help with the Catilda, but maybe we are seeing black-red, and this card is just the best card in the pack, so I'll lean towards black-red, even though we just passed up Olivia. I mean, we still have double bleed dry. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I just need to take the infantry. This is just too good. There's a chance we get a Drog Skull Infantry later. The card's just whatever. And then a second Harvester. Okay. Alright, I guess we missed out on Olivia. But the white cards aren't very impressive in this pack. Yeah, I'll just take another Harvester and see if we can just make black-red work. And Gluttonous Guest versus Imprisonment. Probably just take the Gluttonous Guest to stay mono-black. Imprisonment is fine, but we have 2 bleed dries already. Even if we end up black-white, we should have a decent amount of interaction. Gluttonous Guest fills a row in black-red. It's a good blocker, helps with courier bats, and it also keeps us open. So, we'll take it. And now I'll take Celebrants pretty late. Alright, I guess we'll move into black-red here. Unfortunately, we had to give up on Catilda, but we saw the power of black-white life gain already. And again, this is just a fine 2-drop. Celebrants is just too powerful. And then I guess we can take a Wedding Invitation. Bloodsworn Squire isn't that great. There's also Pointed Discussion, but I think I like the Wedding Invitation more. Being able to sneak in damage, gain life to trigger the courier bats is quite nice. So I'll take it over to Pointed Discussion. And we're in black-red, so it's going to be at its best. So Recluse, I mean, the Mind Leash School probably won't make it. But I do like the Raw Tide if we have more things to stack like Epicures. Here we'll just take a Lacerate Flesh. And then this is kind of our baseline deck. We also have a few ways to gain life, so having double Courier Bat isn't the worst. And white does seem kind of cut off. There was a late Imprisonment, but again, we were just past double Harvester. So we missed out on Olivia. Shame, shame, but again, double Bleed Dry is okay. We should have a fine deck, and we've won Magic games even without bombs, so it's not the end of the world, and hopefully we open up nice rare on-color rare next pack. We'll see. And this was a way to stay open too, so like there was a chance red wasn't open, but now it seems like black-red is the most open color combination in the pile seat. Other than that, there's also black-blue, but again, not seeing any good exploit creatures. Might not even play Ritual due to Bleed Dry. Okay, Voldaren Epicure is great. Plays well with our Raw Tide Gargantua. And there's also Lantern Bear in this pack, but just take Epicure. And then now I'll take a Belligerent Guest as a 3-drop Vampire we can play. Also seeing some late blue cards, but we're clearly in black-red, I have to imagine. Casting Flame Breather is cute too. If we have multiple non-creature spells, is fine. So I might consider it. Sometimes you do end up in a black deck that has a decent amount of non-creatures, like Ancestral Anger, which we're going to take here, over Fearful Villager, since our 3s are fine already. So we could end up in a Kessig Flame Breather Ancestral Anger deck somehow, but we'll see. Could even cut one Courier Bat if we're not afraid the Lifegain can get going, given that we have double Guest already, so could actually see myself cutting one copy. Alright, another Blood Type Harvester seems perfect. Jacob would be my pack 1 pick 1. This card is really fun and also really good. Although you do want to play this in a blue grindy control deck. But there's also an argument for taking Harvester over Jacob if you just want to force yourself in the best 2 colors and maybe get lucky. But this is perfect. We'll take it. And another Bleed Dry is perfect, although there's another Celebrants, but I think it's just Bleed Dry. Can't go wrong with a million copies of these, and then there's a chance this could wheel. And then, I mean, we were past the Falconraft Celebrants in the previous pack, although we were only past 1 copy. So I don't know. We do have a Rod Tide Gargantua already on 5, so I think we just want to shore up the removal and take Bleed Dry here. And then, ooh, all right, Falcon Wrath Forebearer is great. Although we have a bunch of 3s, but this is a flyer that can start generating blood tokens whenever it connects, and then we can always just keep bringing this back. So it seems great. Yeah, it seems better than the Socialite, which I'm hoping we can get later. But yeah, this is a nice payoff for blood and also a nice enabler. So we'll take it. Can't block though, but you know, that's fine. The worst case scenario is to run into like a Lantern Bearer with the Falcon Wrath Forebearer. But it will happen, but I think the card is just better than the Socialite, and good sign that Black Red is open, seeing that this got passed to us. So yeah, I don't think I need to care about the Courier Bat that much with all these 3-drops. Just need more Vampires and Black Red. And this is kind of like the core basis that I'm happy to play. Could maybe ditch the Rot Tide if we find something better. This pack just sucks. So our first whiff, I guess we'll just take a random Stitch Assistant. So this is our first bad pack that we've come across. And yeah, Bloodcrazed Socialite seems better than the Blood Petal Celebrant. We have a decent amount of 2s already, and this is a great card. Especially following up the Celebrants. Alright, I mean, we're not running Exploit package. I think we just take another Socialite, can help us close out the game. And we might not play the Gargantua if we don't pick up enough Exploiters as we get past Celebrant. See, I told you guys we'd get one. So don't need the Rot Tide at this point, just need a Falcon Wrath Celebrants so we can curve Socialite into Celebrants and we should be fine. And we're probably just going to run 17 lands in this deck. A Wedding Invitation was perfect, so our deck is getting even better. And then final picks can just be filler or another Wedding Invitation, why not? I'll play 3 copies of this. Can even play Pointed Discussion if we want to. We're light on, I guess we just need an extra creature. Alright, I'll just take another Socialite. Alright, I mean, we can just run this and we're fine. Just need one more card. We can't even run 18 lands, but with triple invitation, we're bound to want to hit our land drops and at least get our turn 2 down. So this is a fun deck. Maybe Courier Bat can make the cuts. Maybe we don't mind a Kessig Flame Breather. We have 8 non-creature spells. Kessig Flame Breather would be fine. Same with the Courier Bat. I might just want 1 copy of Courier Bat since it's also just an evasive threat and can also bring back one of our creatures later on. We don't have a ton of life gain. I guess we do with the triple Wedding Invitation, the Gluttonous Guest, and the Ragged Recluse. We should be okay. So sure, why not? I don't hate a copy of Courier Bat actually. In terms of removal, we have triple Bleed Dry, so I'm not even sure if we need like Lacerate Flesh or an expensive card like Grisly Ritual. So this is our removal, which is good. And then Blood Type Harvester also functions as removal. So honestly, I don't really need like a Grisly Ritual and Lacerate Flesh. Like these are 2 clunky removal spells, and I don't mind just throwing in a random Courier Bat just because it can kind of help us grind a bit and get back some of our key creatures. So yeah, this seems like the deck. Alright, so I guess we're just going to round out the draft with Black-Red Vampires. And the mana base, we don't have a ton of red going. We do have 8 red spells, but we do need to cast our Blood Type Harvesters on curve. It could be kind of awkward because we also just want to have our Bleed Dries active on turn 4. Otherwise, it's not great. So I could see myself going down a mountain and just going 10-7, and we should be okay. And hopefully get some early red going. Like, I do want to cast this, obviously, but again, it's we might need double black on turn 4. And it's going to be awkward if we end up drawing a bunch of red mana, which does happen even if you go 9/8. So let's give this a shot, see how it goes. But yeah, overall this deck is cool. Not going to complain. Could have had an attendance, but come on, triple Bleed Dry. Can't say no to that. Get the Fangs is also going to be great in this deck as early interaction and also a way to pump our Vampire. So if we run across another vampire deck, we can essentially enchant our own creatures to maybe attack past it if we can't get rid of it. And yeah, black-red is the best 2-color combination, so you can just get away with a bunch of black-red commons in the set and still get to 7 and have some really tight matchups against even bomb-heavy decks. Alright, so what do we have here? Let's get some 2-drops, and we get both of our colors. Alright, seems perfect. Harvester, Forebearer, we'll keep. Can always discard a Blood later to transform Ragged Recluse as well. And if he has nothing, we can just smash him for 3. And Forebearer can also just start generating blood tokens, and so we can leverage this removal spell if we need to. So there's a chance he could have Fierce Retribution, but I'm still going to attack. Since if he has one, we do have backup Harvesters, and we're curving out anyways, so we should be fine. So if the opponent stumbles, we can just win the game out of nowhere. As the opponent plays a Militia Rallier, let's think here. So, I think I'm fine just playing out both of my playing out Wedding Invitation here, and then one of the 2-drops. Yeah, we can just do this, and then I can always just offer this as a trade, and just play up a backup Harvester, or I can just, yeah, I'll just offer this as a trade since he's most likely, even if he doesn't block this, and I play this main phase, I can always just stack this anyways, and I might as well get rid of a 3-powered blocker and play a second Harvester and start going to town. So yeah, our deck is looking great. The 3-wind's also going to just keep crashing in, so okay, I can kill that with the Blood type Harvester, so this is an example of a bomb that's difficult to deal with in this format. I can also just offer to trade with the Falconwrath Forebearer, to be honest. I could always lead by attacking first, and if this trades, we can hold on to this. Yeah, I guess that's not wrong. Yeah, let's lead with an attack, and if it trades, we can get back. If not, that's fine. We'll just make a blood token, sacrifice this, kill the 2/3, and then I could always play Ragged Recluse and discard something. And then if I attack, I can always Courier Bat and bring it back. I might just try that. So we can always just main phase discard Falconwrath Celebrants, and then get it back next turn with the Courier Bat play. Even though we were planning to maybe get Courier Bat anyways, we'll just say go. So if he answers this, we still have Gluttonous Guest as backup to gain life. Or maybe make the Falconwrath Forebearer with lifelink. So either way, we can get back to Celebrants and grind a bit. And this adds another powered creature on the battlefield. Alright, so there goes Forebearer. I have to imagine he exiles this. So rip. So that was like the perfect answer, and hopefully no imprisonment. At least he doesn't gain life with the Courier Bat. I could always just make the Odious Witch unblockable. Is that worth it here? If I make it unblockable, I can then play the Courier Bat, get back Falconwraths, and I do smash in for 4. I mean, otherwise I'm essentially trading for a Courier Bat. But I guess if I make this unblockable in attack, then if I play Courier Bat, the 2/2 will then block in the future. So I'm actually down to just attack and offer to trade for the Courier Bat. And then if it trades, we'll just play a Courier Bat and then get back the Celebrants and take it from there. Could also play the Socialites and maybe start crashing for 5, but that's also reasonable. You know what, let's just do that instead. And yeah, we'll just play out land this time. We could end up double spelling next turn. We can always just make this unblockable, smash for 5, and then trigger the life gain and get back Celebrants too. And hope he doesn't have a Fierce Retribution to answer the 3/3. Ceremonial Knife, that's okay. And Wedding Security is also okay. Opponent has no blood tokens. So now we can, we can leverage this ability and take it from there. Could also point to Discussion. If I get a second black source, maybe we can do the unblockable thing next turn. Yeah, let's try that. Let's get greedy here. I'm missing my land drops, And we got a second black source, so now play land, move to combat, attack, can sacrifice blood token. Could have also played this pre-combat, but I think it's fine attacking for 5 and then playing out the belligerent guest since it hits harder. And also a creature I don't mind giving unblockable next turn, so unless the opponent has a sweeper here, I think we have the game. And black-red is just a lot better than white-black. Like, you really need Heron of Hopes and Traveling Ministers to really make this work. I guess he's going to do this, sack itself, and then exile a card in my hand. Or not. I guess he needs the extra body. But I can just make the Bloodcrazed Socialite unblockable and kill him next turn. So, either way, I think he's dead. And make sure we don't misclick here, so I guess he's attacking. I mean, he's dead either way, so, yep. In that matchup, ooh, there we go, rank 4 Mythic. Alright, we're climbing. We're definitely climbing. We are climbing. Can we get the top 2? Can we get the top 3? Can we get the top 1? Who knows? Find out in the next episode. Can we get to number 1? Can we get there? 3 drop, 4 drop on the play. Yeah, I'll keep. And I'm hoping I can get my black source, like double black going for Bleed Dry eventually. Turn 1. Ooh, Kessick Wolf Rider. Haven't seen this card, but we can answer with Gift if we manage to pick it up. So it's not a scary card, honestly. Oh, there's Gift. As I say that, we managed to pick up a Gift. Yeah, this card isn't that scary. Like, it still takes a bit to get going, and then a 1/2 doesn't necessarily like attack well into 2 creatures. So it's still a questionable card to have, honestly. Yeah, we'll just say go, and then, ooh, now we have land 3. Alright, I think I can just curve out here and try to ignore the Wolf Rider until we're kind of afraid he can get 3 cards into the graveyard. So, attack, I guess, with both, and I'll take it. Opponent with a pretty aggressive start. Does he have a follow-up? Weaver, alright. I'm not going to exile the Weaver because I feel like it makes more sense to exile the creature he ramps into with Weaver. But I'll definitely crash in for 3 here and make a blood token. And then the Socialites are going to get even better with the blood tokens, so next turn we can Socialite and take out maybe the Kessick Wolf Rider, or maybe even a Death Toucher. And opponent's still aggressive here, alright, so he's going to try to outrace me. And then, yeah, I think we take out the Wolf Rider. Like, we can always make our guy unblockable. We'll definitely exile this one. Could also not. We could always lead with Gift of Fangs instead. Opponent also missed his land drop. So let's think here. I could always just crash in for 5 and take 5 on the way back. Opponent did miss his land drop, so by exiling this, it does put him far back. Actually, I don't mind the opponent like just staying back. Yeah, I could take 5 here. It's not the end of the world. I guess I'll be only swinging in for 5 if I do this play. You know what? Maybe this turn we just do this. We exile Wolfkin. We could also just take out the Scorpion. Or we just need to take out Wolf Rider. Wolf Rider is probably more annoying, but he doesn't really have a time to really activate it in a sense. So it's kind of interesting to note which one we want to take out. I mean, this still tramples over, I guess. So sure, let's take out the Wolf Rider. Could also enchant my own Vampire, but I think this is fine, and we can deal a ton of damage, and this way he stays back. And then the more blood we make, the more damage we do, and then he's eventually forced to double block the Socialites and 2-for-1 himself. Slinger is annoying. I guess he can fight either Blood Token or Wedding Invitation. We'll see what he targets here. I guess he's more afraid of the Wedding Invitation. That makes a lot of sense. So now he can effectively double block my Blood Crazed Socialite. So opponent's probably going to stay back here, and I think I'm fine attacking. And do I make this into a 5-5? If I don't, he can just double block with both of these, so I think I'm kind of inclined to sacrifice the Blood Token. Don't necessarily want to, but if I don't, he can just double block here and take it from there. But he can just double block here, I guess, but it's okay. Alright, he's blocking like this. That's a strange block. Alright, I guess he wants to kill everything. Sure, I'll take the 2-for-1s. I guess he has a pump trick. Yeah, he could have a Might of the Masses here. Alright, that's fine. I'm still taking out the Mana Dork. And yeah, we'll just play the Celebrants and hope the opponent doesn't stabilize. It's still a pretty decent trade. We still traded for a ton of creatures, and the opponent's behind on board, doesn't have his Mana Accelerant. And we're not blocking a 1-1. So yeah, the 4-drop Vampires are just... The Vampires are just really powerful in this set. And we can even discard a land here, which I don't mind, since I should be able to make another Blood Token with the Socialite, so fine discarding land. And then we can play the Socialite next turn, and we can also just discard a land and take it from there. So let's just do this, say go, and then we can attack with both. He might be forced to double block here so he doesn't die, so yeah, probably stays back. And I think we just attack with both and take it from there. Don't have any ways to gain life to bring anything back, but that's fine. We should be able to just play this as a 2-2 flyer, and that's fine. So we definitely want to sacrifice this, so if he double blocks, he's forced to trade both creatures off. I would obviously love to gain life to deal with this, but that's not the case, and then yeah, we'll just take both of these. And then I guess he wants to pump. So that's annoying. Alright, so he gets to gain a ton of life and I don't get to kill anything. So that might have been a misplay, but I'm still going to develop the board here and take it from there. We can maybe win the game with the flyer or just keep crashing in with the Belligerent Guest. Falcon Wrath Forebear. Alright, I'll just attack with all. Opponent's going to run out of tricks eventually. Should have maybe labeled the Toxic Scorpion first. Forgot about this whole untap trick. But I mean, either way, I was more inclined to just take out the Ancestor first, honestly, because it had higher toughness. So now he might just trade here, keep the Death Toucher back in case he top decks another creature, which is what he's planning to do. And hopefully no other trick here, right? And then we can just kill him with our flyers, essentially, and also just start making more blood, so should be okay here. Opponent could land into Brambleworm, and that will be the worst case scenario, and then he can even give the Brambleworm lifelink with the Kindly Ancestor eventually. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. That would be the worst case scenario, but I mean, either way, I think the game plan was to be aggressive in this game. Magma Pummeler is okay. I guess he can give it lifelink, but even if he does, guess what? I can just kill him in the air, so it's good games. Could also just Bleed Dry this, honestly, just to rub it in. So he wouldn't even have gotten there. Alright, sweet. Alright, second win, and did we get past top 4 Mythic? Nope, we just need to keep grinding. And I'm sorry for the fast commentating. I know I commentate a little bit too fast, but I'm playing at the same time, so I do need to maybe slow down a bit sometimes and just try to take it slow. But it's just automatic sometimes. Just need to blurt out everything I can say in these videos. So apologize if I'm a little bit too quick. So all right, number 4 mythic and 2 wins. Let's keep this up. Third match. Let's see if we can top number 4. And opening hand. Oh, okay. I mean, we're on the play with both of our colors. I think we can keep and maybe lead with one of the 3 drops. We'll see. And if we top deck a 2 drop here, that would be nice. Alright, there we go. Ask and you shall receive. We're always lucky. So do I run into Fierce Retribution? Vampire Slayer will take this out. I could just kill this, honestly. It's not too different from trading, actually. Yeah, let's just attack. And then just play the Belligerent Guess. I gotta get rid of this eventually, and either way, even if I sack the Harvester, it's essentially trading. So, it also just doesn't exile anyway, so let's just play Guest and take it from there. I could also just point the discussion on turn 3. Don't know if I care about the 1-4. Although the 1-4 does block the 2-3 reasonably well. Point of discussion does set up a better turn for Celebrants, but I think I'm, again, just inclined to trade here. And if he trades, then I'll point to discussion. If he doesn't, then I'll play the Gluttonous Guest. And I'll point to discussion now so we can set up a better turn for the Celebrants. Just need to hit my land drops. Should have played land first and then tap 3 so I can play the Epic here, so that was a little bit maybe a mistake. Wedding announcement, alright, so that's one of the bombs I don't want to see in this draft, and there we have it. Alright, we can just follow up with Celebrants into Celebrants, so we'll still have a very strong turn. Eventually gain life for the Gluttonous Guest to maybe bring back the Celebrants as well, so yep. We can start grinding. If he Ancestors into this, I'm still okay. Opponent might set up a Fierce Retribution. But I do have a backup Celebrants. Could see an Imprisonment, Bleed Dry. Alright, it's fine. Alright, I guess, yeah. We'll just keep the Swamp. Might discard it. Since I'm more interested in double red. Although I could double spell next turn, but I do want to gain life with the Gluttonous Guest for value first. So now this can transform and make him 2/2/2s. Which is a bit annoying, so I might need to stay back with the 4/4. Or just offer to trade here. It doesn't feel great. But maybe it's a necessary evil. Just to get some blockers out of the way. Could also have Fierce Retribution, but again I do have the Celebrants, the Socialite to follow up. And if this is the case, then I guess I don't mind Epic here into Socialite. And then I guess we can also just discard. No, we can't, so let's just play the Socialite. So we're just making 1,000,000 blood tokens. And then next turn we can Gluttonous Guest, maybe discard land into land, and then play out Courier Bat. and get back another Falconraft Celebrants or Socialite. We'll see. Another Bleed Dry on the 3/3. I mean, it's reasonable given that it can become a 5/5. So he's going to start gaining life here, so I probably might need to stay back. Or just take 6. This doesn't really trigger anymore, so opponent's going to be aggressive here. Alright, the Ragged Recluse isn't the worst. So I could just play Gluttonous Guest. Although I don't mind the life gain from Gluttonous Guest, but if we don't get a land, that's a little bit awkward. So maybe I just need to deny myself the life gain from Gluttonous Guest in case I don't get a land, and just do this right now. And if we get a land, we can Ragged Recluse into Gluttonous Guest. Right, there it is. So now we can Gluttonous Guest into Ragged Recluse. So now, if he does take out the Odious Switch, we still have a double block, so I'm keeping the 1/1 back. So opponent can now has a 2/5, so yeah, I'm not sure if I can break through this board stall, especially with all the life gain going on in black-white and the wedding announcement, so this is kind of a problem. And a Courier Bat that can also start flying over, and this has also been annoying. So not sure if I can win this. Ooh, Falconraft Forebearer. I guess that's a creature we can just start attacking and getting back. I can also discard this to the, I mean, I could also attack with both here, and then Courier Bat to get back Falconraft Celebrants and play Forebearer. I think that's fine. Like, he can't block this forever, and he does need to trade off a creature, which I'm fine with. And I don't mind killing the Ancestor Embraced 2/2. And taking from there. So this is fine. And the funny thing is now I might just prefer getting the Blood Type Harvester as a removal spell. Even though I do like the other creature. I think it's important to just have this out, just to maybe answer the Gluttonous Guest eventually, or another opposing flyer. So I'll probably just take 3 here, and might need to just race against this life gainer, although I am gaining life with the Gluttonous Guest as well. And then I can just keep bringing this Forebearers back if he ends up blocking it eventually, so I'm hoping I can just keep grinding this opponent out with the wedding announcement. Yeah, and this card is just really strong. Okay, so I can still block this. It's going to be a 4/3, so that's a problem. Vampire Slayer is also difficult to deal with, so we're not in a good spot. And the opponent has a lot of pressure next turn. I can still attack for 5, but the opponent can start gaining life on the way back, so I might need to keep the 2/2 back to just maybe trade for something and just only attack with the 3/1, since it's going to be a lot of damage and I need some good blockers. So probably just attack for the Forebearer. Could always main phase the Blood, discarding a land, so I can maybe find action along with the Blood Type Harvester. Another Harvester, okay, I mean I can use these as removal spells at the very least. Might need to save one for the Gluttonous Guest since it's just gonna block all day. And then say go. I can trade one of the 3/2s and the 1/1s for the 4/4. And take a bit of a beating. So this is rough. So probably block like this. And I guess I can just double block the 3/3. And then take it from there. Sure. And hope I just don't get blown out. And maybe save this for the flyer, I guess. Now, I guess with this problem, I might need to just take out the flyer. And hope the opponent doesn't have an instant here. Like, an instant here would be a pretty big blowout. And yeah, this wedding announcement did so much work for the deck. So probably the game plan now is to halt the ground, maybe kill the flyer, and then try to win with the flyer. And just start generating blood. Yeah, this is annoying too, even takes down my hero, so now I don't really have, I lose my life gain engine. So yeah, it's probably just game over now. Opponent just had a wedding announcement on curve, and also Courier Bat can start getting its creatures back. So Bleed Dry, this would have been great if we had one earlier. We're probably still dead anyways. So what now? I guess I can offer the attack first and see what's up. Since this isn't blocking, I might as well Bleed Dry the Odious Switch. I'm still taking 6. I'm still taking 6, so could lose the way to Bleed Dry, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, it's just a waste of time. Wedding Announcement is just too strong, so this is an example of a game where we did face against a bomb and just lost to it, so it doesn't happen again all that often, but here it is. Just gotta sometimes pray you don't run into those situations, or at least even if you do, you still get lucky enough to stabilize against the opponent and then win some other way. But I mean, we had a good starting hand too. We curved out 2-drop into 3-drop and still got a lot done. But that was just a pretty unfortunate match facing against Wedding Announcements. If the opponent didn't have it, we would definitely maybe had a shot, but we were just too far behind after him getting the extra stat bonuses. Made it a lot more difficult to block and trade. And even forcing those double blocks into a removal spell is not where you want to be. So, alright, let's see. Alright, this hand is not great. We're on the draw though, so we can always lead with Belligerent Guest. I can see this being a terrible hand to keep, actually. Like, we don't have any 2s. The Courier Bat is a little bit awkward, same with the pointed discussion, so I'm going to mulligan. And this hand also isn't great, but at least we can maybe bomb a swamp and maybe get a red land to curve out into Harvest, to play Wedding Announcement into maybe Harvester, so I'll try it. And the nice thing is that if we're able to gain life with one of our vampires, we can then use the Courier Bat to buy it back, so we'll see. So blue-red, alright. Unfortunately, no red mana. Hopefully no syncopates. It'd be funny seeing the opponent syncopate a Wedding Announcement just to deny a card draw. And we'll probably run into a counter spell here, but we gotta play out something. And the Courier Bat can always get back Blood Type if it gets countered by Siphon Essence. Syncopate, not so much, but sometimes you just gotta play into it, and then we can 4-drop and a 5-drop hopefully, and maybe take it from there. Flame Breather, so missed the land drop, I assume. Alright. At least the life gain can help us stabilize, and yeah, we're curving out here, so. I think I'm fine making this into a 5-5 since we have a Celebrants to follow up. 2 Celebrants actually, so we should be fine just pumping this and getting in for a lot. He could attack with both next turn, but I still have some good blocks. So yeah, I think we just attack for 5 and play a Celebrants. Could also give this lifelink an unblockable, but I think we're just gonna take it slow in case he has something. So if he attacks with a Luring Suitor, I could just block with the Kessick Flame Breather. He only has 2 activations and I can still take this out. Although if he plays Anger, I might want to block the Luring Suitor instead, since that can get even scarier. So I might actually just want to block the Alluring Suitor. Whispering Wizard, okay, that's fine. So he could attack with both, but that's not really going to get through anything. So yeah, next turn I guess he's playing the block. And I guess we just want to be hyper aggro. So now I guess I can chip in, I can cash in the Wedding Announcement, or at least, I mean, I guess we do have some backup vampires regardless. So yeah, let's just attack, I guess. And then sack a blood token, and then I could make this unblockable and just get him for 5. But I actually don't mind him trading. If opponent takes it, I guess he's going to set up a turn with flyers. And if so, we just want to keep dropping Celebrants. And I'm fine playing out land, because if we get land 7, we can still double spell and do something next turn, so this is okay. And the opponent's pretty far behind here. So his game plan now is just to make a bunch of chump blockers and try to survive this onslaught. So he's definitely holding up an instant here, so I don't want to use the Wedding Invitation. Although, yeah, I think we want to attack first, right? And then if he uses a removal spell, we can always give another vampire life gain, and then bring it back with the Courier Bat. So I think I'm fine attacking, sacrificing a blood, and then if he bounces to 5-5, I still have some good attackers here. So we're still in decent shape. So probably see an instant here, since he's keeping up 4 mana. Okay, and we're going to lead with taking out the Whispering Wizard, I have to imagine. And then, yep, he might have to triple block one of them, but it's going to be awkward. And then we can just keep grinding the opponent. Alright, that's an interesting block. Yeah, we'll list this first, and then between these two, I think the Whispering Wizard is the one I want to kill the most. So probably see a Sure Strike or something here, maybe. Alright, Lunar Ejection. I was expecting that, so now we can Wedding Announcement on our 5/5 and gain the life, which I don't mind too. And then by gaining a life, we can buy back the Bloodcrazed Socialite, just to be mana efficient and get out a 2/2 flyer. Like, we do avoid the life gain, but I just want to be mana efficient here and just buy back. And then, yeah, this might just be the nail in the coffin, so. And these creatures both have menace, so they're still difficult to block anyway, so I think that was the right smart move to do. It provides the most tempo advantage, and yeah, opponent is behind on board, so yeah, nice. Do we rank? Probably not, since we lost the previous game, but we'll see. Nope. Still going to take a while. Just need to hit another win streak, and we should be okay. Alright, turn 3, Falkenrath Forebearer, and yeah, I'm fine keeping once I have 2 colors available, so, I mean both of my colors, so. We'll leave a red to represent a Flame Blessed Bolt, which I would have loved to have in this deck. Blood type Harvester, please. Nope. Probably going to lead with the Falkenrath Forebearer since it has flying. And then he can always play a 2-drop blocker like this Belligerent, like this Dawnheart Disciple. I can always just block this, I guess, next turn. But I feel like I just want to get this down. And then next turn maybe we can guess and take it from there. Is it too insane to bleed dry a Traveling Minister? I don't think so. Spore Crawler, alright. So we probably need to set up some trades next turn to prevent him from dealing a ton of damage. But keep in mind we also have Wedding Invitation to gain a ton of life. Okay, so the Gift of Fangs is great. I think we actually Gift of Fangs a Traveling Minister. I don't think that's incorrect. Again, and then we can still attack for 3, make a blood, and then Belligerent Guest can maybe trade off. Or, I don't really like trading off for the Spore Crawler here, but I might. He does get to draw a card, but I get to prevent some damage from happening. Shield Breaker is a problem. Might just trade for this Disciple instead. Since he's white-green, he's mostly just going to end up with a ton of humans anyways. I could just take it, actually. Maybe this is a fine block. And then, yeah, we'll just trade. Opponent's pretty aggressive here, though, so... Alright, Socialite. I'm probably maybe better off getting rid of my Pointed Discussion or exiling the 4-3. Maybe I'm better off just sacrificing my Pointed Discussion, putting the Ragged Recluse out this turn. Actually, no, let's get rid of the Pointed. I don't want to lose too much life against... Sorry about that. If he makes his guy indestructible, I guess he spends mana too, so... I mean, I could just take 7. As long as we have a Vampire, we have Lifegain to kind of offset this life race, and then we also have Bleed Dry as backup. Alright, Nurturing Presence might be a little bit strange here, so... I guess now the 1-1 can hold off my Forebear, but then the Winning Invitation gets a little bit better now. I don't necessarily want to trade here. Could just take 8, funny enough, I'll take 8. It's a lot of damage, but then we can maybe attack back, gain some life, and also give the Falcon Wrath Forebear lifelink and hope he doesn't have, Fierce Retribution, so I just gotta pray he doesn't have it. Attack. And then now we can Bleed Dry, maybe, alright, he doesn't have it, so luckily. So now we can maybe Bleed Dry the 4-2 and then set up a Wedding Announcement for next turn, since I don't want to take too much damage, so we'll say go. And I guess I can kill him next turn if he isn't careful. And the thing is, I'm also at a pretty decent life total too. So I'm hoping he just overcommits here, and then we can Bleed Dry the Shield Breaker. So he has lethal, so let's see if he does the attack trigger. And then we'll just Bleed Dry the 5-3. And then we can also just make the Odious Witch unblockable and win the game. Since he didn't have Fierce Retribution last game, I think we take the risk. And just make the Odious Witch unblockable and attack. And we can follow up with the Bloodgrave Socialite still, so I'm down to just do this. And then that will be 7 damage since he can't really block the flower. Yeah, let's just try this instead. And then attack. And then this should be 7. So, yeah, sometimes Bleed Dry just wins you the game, and that's an example. Sweet, alright. Almost got ran over by white-green humans training. And we're still stuck at 4. So, alright, can we just get to 3 and just do Strixhaven draft? I just want to go home. I just want to go home to Strixhaven. Game, why are you like this to me? Is it because I just win too much? So I deserve to be stuck at 4 forever, never number 1? Keep in mind, I never made to number 1 Mythic. I think I did make it to number 2 Premier Draft Dominaria, and that was pretty much it. So... close, but yeah, let's try to get up to 3 more wins and face the final boss and hope we can rank up a bit. And I'm chewing, so I'm eating, so just bear with me. Alright, this is a good keep. Leave with the Harvester, it's fine. Although if the opponent shows red mana, I might not be inclined to, but I am going to just do that now. It's better than a Ragged Recluse, I think, and then, yeah. We can then play Belligerent Guest. Circle was pretty nice. Alright. Keep in mind we have 2 more copies of Blood Type Harvester, so we shouldn't be too afraid. And we can always refuel now that we're hitting our land drops, so just gotta keep curving and attacking. And hope the opponent loses momentum. Alright, taps out for point discussion, not bad. So, and we can follow it with double Blood Craze Socialite, so we're in a good spot. Hope the opponent doesn't cast a sweeper and destroy us. So we just need to be as aggressive as possible before he gets to land 6 for Path to the Peril. Wedding Invitation, that can climb him back if he deploys a Vampire. But I'm happy that he's just wasting his turn, so we're probably going to see a Fierce Retribution here, I have to imagine. But again, I think we just play into it. I also don't need to sacrifice a blood here, given that he might have Fierce Retribution, so I think it's Fierce Retribution. I'm not going to sack a blood. I feel like he has it here. Yep, here it is. So, gotta play around it sometimes, and by doing this, we get to save a blood token. And then we can just play Pointed Discussion first, and then maybe Ragged Recluse or the Blood Type Harvester if we draw into one, since it's more mana, because it's more mana efficient this way. Then we can start discarding lands and drawing better spells. I'm probably just going to discard land next turn so we can transform Recluse eventually. Can also exile something and get a huge hit in. Infantry is a little bit awkward against my Ragged Recluse. Same with the Restless Bloodseeker, so I don't necessarily want to attack into this. I might be more interested in just transforming the Ragged Recluse. And then just play out the Blood Craze Socialite, maybe set up a turn where he has to force himself to double block. And take it from there. And then now I can play land and discard a land end of turn since I have a million blood tokens. Yeah, if I attack here, he's just going to block, and I don't really want that, so we'll say go, and then maybe next turn force a double block, and then blow him out with Bleed Dry. So I'd rather just do this instead, and I don't really care if he Wedding Invites here, since it's not a ton of life gain. He could also just equip here and start getting aggressive, Blood Servitor, so he's planning to do something with the Restless Bloodseeker now. So I'm probably fine just attacking with both and forcing a double block of some sort, and hopefully I top deck Bleed Dry into Bleed Dry. And it's probably the second Fierce Retribution, since this is kind of awkward with all this mana available. So I might not want to attack with a Socialite here, maybe just fine attacking with these two, although I did find another one. Yeah, we're fine attacking. If he enhances his Blood Soak Reveler, we still get to Bleed Dry it eventually, so this is okay. And I'll sacrifice a blood since we have so much now, it's kind of irrelevant if we don't, so this is okay. So he can step double block, he can double block my 3/3, I think that's what he wants to do. And then, do I just take out the infantry? I don't think so. I think we actually do the Blood Servitor first. Although the infantry is annoying, but I think I like the Servitor first so he doesn't get to use his aura. And let's see what he has here. If he has a trick, I can just exile. Alright, so I guess he's just going to chump. Fair enough. And this exchange is still fine. We still get to make another Socialite. And I'm fine also just discarding a blood still, so using a blood discarding. And then, alright, double Bleed Dry, so we can stab something. Next turn, we're fine using a Bleed Dry. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have a way to make me discard 2, like an Aim for the Head. That would be pretty bad. Traveling Minister, so maybe he has like a bat for, yeah, he could have the bat. The bat can allow him to bring back his creature, so he's probably setting that up next turn. Or a Scavenger. Alright, Scavenger is a good one. I'm fine still attacking and sacrificing a blood, and if he double blocks, I'll just Bleed Dry the Death Toucher, even though he does get the aura back. I think it's the right play. Wedding Invitation is nice, but I think I just want to go for the blowout turn this turn, so let's go. Could have also done this first, since I could have paid for Bleed Dry anyways, so maybe I should have just played a Wedding Invitation first. So if he double blocks, we just want to exile the Death Toucher so we can kill the infantry and keep our creature alive, so let's just do this. Bleed Dry the Death Toucher, and then we get to take out the infantry, and he doesn't really have any good targets along with it, so. And also he can't bring it back, so. And now we can Wedding Invitations, draw more cards, dig deeper for our Celebrants. And do I keep land? I think I keep the land in my hand. Edgar, okay, I can exile Edgar at least, okay. That was a scary card. So I don't know. So I don't mind attacking into this, and if he double blocks with Edgar, we can still bleed dry because the Traveling Minister is also a card I don't want to face against, so I could always cycle first, but I think I'll go for the attack first this time. And then we'll decide end of turn if we want to do anything here, so this is okay. And then if he double blocks, we'll just exile Edgar, which is what I was expecting, so now Edgar can go. Luckily we have Bleed Dry, so definitely a common you need to answer stupid things like Edgar. And we still get to take out the Traveling Minister, which is a pain in the butt. Keep in mind we are lacking cards. I think I'm still going to use the blood token here and discard a land. Like, I know I can smash in for 5, but at this point I need to find my Celebrants or some more threats. And then, yeah, we'll cycle the Wedding Invitation here. Just need to dig towards more threats. I mean, even if I attack in for 5, it's going to be quite slow. Gift of Fangs is a nice one. Yeah, Gift of Fangs can maybe answer something he brings back. Potentially the Traveling Minister that he's looking to bring back with the Blood Fountain. I could also equip the Gift of Fangs, smash in for 5, which also isn't wrong, since the opponent is probably planning to just bring his creatures back end of turn. Which is not wrong. Smashing for 5 is a lot of damage, so I think I'll go for this, and hopefully he doesn't have a removal spell like Fierce Retribution. I'm just assuming he has a Blood Fountain here. And then we can attack for 5, and then next turn we can maybe attack for 7. I mean, it's still not lethal, but it's still close. Oh, I guess we can make both creatures unblockable, so let's see. If he brings back both of his creatures, we can just make them both unblockable and then attack for lethal. So I think that's the plan. We can make this into a 7/7, and then this is a 1-powered creature to end the game, so yeah, I guess we'll try that next turn. And hope he taps out. So I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, Blood Fountain's okay. Like, it is annoying seeing this in a control deck with a ton of mana, but if you're behind on board, it's just kind of whatever. Like, I can see having Pointed Discussion as a better card than the Blood Fountain, honestly, or Dying Malice. So I'm hoping he just taps out here so I can just attack with both and win the game. I think the opponent realized it. Luckily didn't see any. I think I only saw one Fierce Retribution in this matchup. So that's always a card to play around in this format, and it's also quite scary when they always have 2 mana available. But sometimes, again, if you're on the aggression and you have a lot of creatures to play, you just gotta attack into it. Alright, so we still have we're hitting a win streak, but our rank isn't getting any higher. So I'm assuming it's gonna take obviously a lot more games, and I might just end it at rank 4. Yeah, it feels kind of bad that we might just have to get stuck on rank 4 forever, but that's the way it is. Usually some of the higher ranker players, like rank 1, 2, and 3, played so many games that they can just go AFK, and I'm assuming that if you have to kind of get enough wins compared to those to at least exceed them in a sense, or take their ranking. So they're probably just AFK and sleeping on their ranks, which is fine and fair enough. It's what I did when I reached Mythic with Strixhaven. So we'll see. Just 2 more wins and we should be good here. As I say that, we're facing against number 3 Mythic, so this is hilarious. Alright, Minister. I think killing this immediately could be correct. Not sure. But attacking for 3 is also just very strong. So do I want to trade for a Fierce Retribution if he has one? Maybe. I can also just sack this, kill this right now. You can also trade this for Blood type. You know what? I think I'll just sack this and kill the Minister. It's annoying enough. And just play a second one. And next turn, hope I hit my land drops. I could also discard now and try to get my second land drop, but this is fine. He can blink the Fleeting Spirit whenever I try to kill it as well, so it's also a bit of an interesting card. I could also just block it when he attacks, because he doesn't have anything to exile. I guess he can always discard 2 cards and just give it first strike. By the way, he's discarding 2 cards, so I'm actually down to just block if he attacks. Statue, alright. Do I just kill a statue? I do need to hit my land drops here. Statue is annoying, but I'll be taking 3. But first things first, yeah, I think we just use the blood. I might actually just want to kill this. Yeah, the statue's a bit annoying. Yeah, let's just use it now. And just discard the Falcon Wrath Celebrant since it's expensive enough. And then, I think I have an Epic here in the deck. Oh, I guess we have Gift of Fangs, so. Let's just try to hit our land drops since we're missing out on it, and it's not great missing out on our land drops, obviously. There's our land drops, so now I can just say go, and then see if I want to discard end of turn as well. And the 1/4 should be able to block the 3/1. Fine trading the Harvesters for these 2 creatures since they can get kind of scary later on, and I don't really want them ramping into any annoying 5-drops. Opponent's only white, so I'm assuming white-blue since these aren't cards. Okay, Perish Blade Trainee, that's interesting. Wedding Invitation. I mean, if he blocks with a Perish Blade, I can just Gluttonous Guess and hold this off. Like, I don't like this gaining a counter, but the fact that this can just maybe force him to discard a card is not bad, so we'll take it from here. And then hopefully we can start getting our lands. We're kind of behind here. I'm kind of scared. I'm going to block the Fleeting Spirit. Force him to flicker it. Discard a card. I'm fine with this exchange. We can always just exile the Perish Blade Trainee as well. Could see an Adamant Will. Right, Supernatural Rescue. Not a card see too often. Okay. So I'm hoping I get a land to exile this. I guess he can flicker it again, so that's even worse. This is definitely an interesting puzzle, and I'm missing my land drop again. I guess I'll play the guest and maybe try to block the trainee. Or block the Fleeting Spirit, although he does give it first strike. Maybe I just block the trainee and then try to exile the 4/3 eventually. I guess I can't block any of them. Yeah, this is just a free block. This is terrible. Man. Not good. I guess I just take it. Or just exile the 3/4. Hopefully if I get a land drop. But we're missing so many lands, it's not even good. And there's Taurens, which we also need to kill, and the Fleeting Spirit, so it's probably just game over here. Gift of Fangs can take out Tauren. He can always just flicker his creatures. Guess we leave with a wedding invitation. He's gonna trade into 2/2. I think I'm in deep shit. Yeah, we're just missing too many land drops. Could also just pump the Belligerent Guest, but he can still attack with the 4-powered creatures. Yeah, let's just concede. We missed too many land drops. We're not winning this. Can't get stuck on 3 lands. I mean, we kept an okay, reasonable hand too, but, you know, maybe we face against number 3 again. But, yeah, I guess he has a number 3 spot, and he's also grinding and getting a lot of wins. So, what can I say? So, yeah. This hand is definitely a lot more reasonable than the previous one. Since in that game we were stuck on 2 for like a turn, we missed a land drop, and then we were stuck in 3 the whole game. At least this one we can at least hit some lands, discard them later to the blood tokens. And the Harvester can still function as removal or an attacker. So, do we just trade here? I guess we just trade and just play a pointed discussion. Our way, even if I activate this, it's almost like against the other opposing black-white player. It's still a trade, I guess. So, and we'll just play pointed just to be mana efficient, so we can play 2-drop into 2-drop next turn. And being on the play, being able to draw like this is very nice. Bystander and a Blood Fountain to get everything back again. So, opponent's also drafting a grind fest. Alright, let's lead with double swamp. I guess it doesn't matter. Ooh, another Blood Type Harvester, sure. Could trade here. Maybe I don't need to, since the 4/4 blocks this off. But it's also just very annoying being able to gain life constantly. So I might just keep this back. Because I could just attack, and then he keeps up 4 mana and brings both creatures back. So I probably don't want that. Although now I might consider it after he plays a Heron of Hope, which is just going to transform to Panic Bystander anyways next turn. So I think I'm just going to activate, take out the Heron, and then play out the Falcon Raft Celebrants and maybe start going to town. He does get to grind in this deck, which is kind of annoying. If he attacks, I might just trade. Yeah, let's just kill this now. And he just gains life, which is again not what I want to face constantly, but this is fine. And then we can even discard a land. Next turn, hope we get a second source to maybe double spell and take it from there. He can always bring back his Heron and all that stuff. Beguiler, okay. Some more bullcrap. So I now need to take out the Beguiler, huh? Don't really have a reason to play Courier Bat other than Courier Bat getting back, I guess, Blood Type Harvester. So I could just do that, just so I can get another Harvester and then start paying off his threats. And that's not bad, since I do have another one. But let's lead by maybe discarding a Swamp first, in case we can always just play another Belligerent Guest into Blood Type Harvester. Right, nope, so we missed out, so we're probably just going to make this unblockable. Attack, get a Blood Type Harvester and play it. And opponent just looking to grind me out this game, I think, so. And get the Harvester that he knows about, and then just play it out again, and then answer any Nimbleghast Beguilers and crap, so. This is definitely a grindy game. And this is only as a sorcery, so on his upkeep he can always just tap my 3/2. Desperate Farmer, alright. So more grindy stuff going on here. This is rough. If I take out this 3/2, then I guess I can play the Belligerent Guest and take it from there, because he's looking to tap down my flyer. I can also just say go, or I can just Bleed Dry here. Bleed Dry can also be reasonable. Yeah, I could also just move to combat, and then if he blocks my flyer, I can just take it from there. And then I'll have 7 mana available. I can still play my Belligerent Guest. But let's move to combat to see what the opponent does here. He taps my 4/4, so I guess I can get in with my flyer. And that's not too bad. And I think I can exile the Beguiler here, so this doesn't transform, and I can still play Belligerent Guest. I think this is okay. Let's just use this now on Yeah, I don't like using it here, but we'll just use it here and just play another belligerent guest. I know he can just keep grinding here, but like eventually we can just deal with everything and then just start getting in with a lot of creatures and taking it slow. So this is fine. I'm going to save the second Harvester for the Parent of Hope that he's playing to get back. And we do have 2 more Bleed Dries left in the library, so... So he's keeping up mana to bring his stuff back, I have to imagine. So let's move to combat, and then we can play out both spells this turn, since that should be 6, so let's go. And Cemetery Protector. Yeah, that's not what I want to see. Okay. So this game is going to be a little bit more rough now that I think about. So it's going to be difficult trying to exile this, because if I do, guess what? He gets to... I guess I would need to exile it because he can just bring it back for the stupid Blood Fountain. So we're in a rough shape, but at least we get to crash in for a ton of damage here. And then we can still maybe play Blood Craze and offer to trade. Maybe the game is just to tempo the opponent out and just take out his creatures and just get in a huge chunk of damage. I really don't want him making 1/1s all day, so that's a problem. But it might be a necessary evil. But if he's going to play a creature, then he doesn't get to activate Blood Fountain to get his guys back. And yeah, I might just do that instead. Scavenger, are you kidding me? Jesus, this opponent just has everything. So maybe the game plan is just to win in the air now and take it from there. And then maybe start cycling some of these blood tokens to maybe find some sort of exile ability on the Cemetery Protector. Or at least kill it and then exile the Diregraph Scavenger. Huh. Yeah, this is a little bit rough. It's a hard matchup. The opponent also just has a very good grindy deck. And we literally used our all of our Blood Tithe Harvesters already. So we need to top deck into something good. If he attacks here, I could double block. But it's not too different from using Blood Tithe. So I'd rather just take it. And then maybe use Blood Tithe Harvester to take out Scavenger and just attack with both. And maybe force him to double block. And yeah, at this point I think I need to discard the land. As much as I like having double red available, we just need to find a way to deal with the Cemetery Protector and take it from there. Gluttonous Guess isn't bad. I guess I'll just play this just because it's a good blocker, and then we can start chipping in for 2, I guess. And then we'll save the Blood Tithe Harvester for Heron of Hope. And hope he doesn't find another flyer. So we'll save this for Heron. The game plan now is just to win in the air. But I do want to exile Protector before he start making 1/1s all day. I don't have any double red in the deck, so I don't really care about discarding mountains at this point. Yep, and he brings both of these, so now he can... So now the ground game is stalled. I just need to win the game in the air, essentially. And then we just need to take out the Heron of Hope, and hope he doesn't answer the Courier Bat, so... Let's begin by looting away the land. And then loot another land away. Make sure I at least have 2 blood tokens to destroy the Heron of Hope with. Alright, that's a good one. Yeah, Wedding Invitation was a really nice pickup there. And then now we can, I guess we can still discard a land, might as well. And then I do want to, again, keep at least 2 lands for the Blood Tithe Harvester. So yeah, let's do this. Make the Blood Craze Social unblockable. Move the combat, attack with both of these. And then sacrifice a blood token. Next turn we can, if he tries to resolve the Heron, we can at least take it out. And then still try to close out the game with the flyer or another unblockable Wedding Announcement. So, and if he attacks with the tokens, I'm fine just taking it since I don't want him gaining life. So we'll do this, and then, alright, we can still get rid of 1 blood token. But just in case, I think we just want to activate this now in case he pumps the Heron of Hope. He could have Undying Malice, and he doesn't, so he's just using this to gain life. So now I think we can lead with discarding a land and seeing what's up. And this is why Blood is so powerful. It's essentially drawing a card in the late game if you have enough lands to discard, when we did discard a ton of lands. Alright, I'll take another Socialite and then play it slow, I guess. And hope the opponent doesn't find a removal spell or anything off the top, so we'll play a second one. And then we'll always just, we can discard a land end of turn if we want to as well. Another removal spell. Did not want to see that. Alright, rip. So how do we win this? I guess we have a second wedding announcement to look for, so we're just going to keep cycling. Where's my wedding announcement? Come on. And yeah, we'll just keep discarding and hopefully we find a second one. We have 2 more left in the library, so we should be fine. I mean, just 2 more. I guess we have 1 more left. And we're at 12 cards, so yeah, we could just end up drawing nothing but lands all day. And the opponent could just win off of Cemetery Protector, so... yeah, okay, and that's not what I want to see, so one last discard. Give me my wedding announcement, please. I can always just sit back and hope he doesn't find a removal spell. Or just try to exile this Protector ASAP. Alright, that's a good one. And this can also make a blood token, so that was a nice gift. We'll pass a turn and then see if the opponent has another way to deal with my flyer. But we literally discarded like 8 lands or something, which was insane. I don't have a second Courier Bat, so closing out the game will be a little bit difficult if I don't have second wedding announcement. So I'm hoping the opponent doesn't gain a million life or find his removal spells here. I'm definitely not blocking anything either. And there we go. Alright, sweet. Sweet, alright, just one more game and we can get up to 7, and we're still number 4. So as you can see, the games in Crimson Vow are really long and grindy, and you don't always face against the opponent with a nutty bomb, like this opponent that we faced, but the bombs obviously do change the course of the long game, and there's also a lot of life gain going on, so aggro isn't that great, so it feels more like a mid-range set, where you can get away with good attackers on turn 3 and turn 4, and then in the late game it's kind of like the bombs just take over, assuming you can get one, or if you don't face against one, you can at least have enough interaction or evasion to close out. So, yep, final boss, let's do this, and we're probably going to be stuck on rank 4 forever, but it's fine. And maybe I'll just do Strixhaven draft and say screw it. Almost forgot about the Forebearer, the flyer that we needed. And yeah, the blood did so much work in the late game. It just made us discard all the lands that we were flooding out with. And that allowed us to find our playables. So it was blood's powerful. Blood's very strong. So another reason why black-red is just the best 2 colors in this format. The good removal at common, the powerful threats, and the blood tokens being able to cycle away useless spells in the late game. And yeah, we also just, opponent kept getting his creatures back, but we also just kept answering them, so we're also just facing some very strong grindy decks. Opening hand, this is awkward. I'm on the draw. If I do get a single black source, we're good, but this is kind of iffy. Yeah, I don't think I can keep this. If I miss a single swamp, this can is just dead, so I think we mull. And we're on the draw, so it's not that bad. Okay, this is better. I'm fine keeping, and I think I can afford to bond the land here and risk it, and hope I get a 4th land at least. So at least I can play Socialite and maybe discard something to hit my land 5. But this is fine, and I do need double black for Bleed Dry, so we'll take this approach. There's Bleed Dry. So hopefully this isn't a disaster. Oh wow, Pax on Pup, so we need to kill that, and that's a problem sometimes with Bleed Dry. You can't cast this exactly on turn 2, and if he's just curving out Werewolf, you're screwed. Although if he's going to attack main phase and not play a Werewolf, we can maybe get away with this, so I think we might. And yeah, once he plays a Werewolf, the question is, do we take out the Pax on Pup, or do we take out the Vampire? I think we take out the Pax on Pup, or... Are you serious? The Witch's Web? Alright, I guess the opponent just wants to be aggressive here. I think I'm just going to keep offering trades for this belligerent guest and hope the opponent doesn't find a Werewolf, since I should have a pretty strong hand. Otherwise I would be tapping out for Bleed Dry, and my primary target is the Pax on Pup. Or would be trading down, but again I don't want to take too much damage. He discarded Dormant Grow, wow, just to desperately hit a land drop into a potential Werewolf. Okay, I mean, that's definitely reasonable. Now he plays Pax on Pup, so now I'm more inclined to just kill the child. I think it's a scarier card than Pax on Pup, actually. And we can always take out the Pax on Pup with the Blood Type Harvester, so I think this is the right thing to do. And we want to do a main phase before it becomes nighttime and allow him to pump the pup. And if he's just attacking like this, then he doesn't have anything. So alright, we're doing great, and then I don't mind just playing out the Blood Type Harvester to set up a removal spell on the Pax on Pup, since this is a pretty good unit for dealing with the pup, and then we can save Bleed Dry for a large Werewolf, if that ever happens. And if he's missing mana, then that's a good sign too. I think I block it, although he could have a trick, but I can't really afford to take 2, so let's bait out a combat trick. Alright, so he had one anyways. Rip. So do I just Bleed Dry this now? Another Harvester seems good. Alright, I'll just keep playing them out. And then we can just take out the pup and then take out whatever large Werewolf he has when he draws into it. Or just keep eating his combat tricks. There it is. Alright, so now we can stabilize, hopefully. And hopefully he doesn't have anything. And I'm going to block here since there's no pump spell for 1 mana. And it's going to die anyway, so this is fine. So we just need to make sure the opponent just doesn't throw a bunch of werewolves at us out of nowhere. So just going to Bleed Dry here. Play land and then start developing my creatures. And hopefully the opponent just doesn't apply too much pressure and just passes and does nothing. So we were able to deal with the early onslaught, and the opponent just passes the turn. So he's probably holding on to a bunch of removal here, or just a bunch of lands, and that's a great sign. So we'll leave with the Celebrants, and then if we get a land next turn, we can potentially double spell. Could see a Rending Flame here too, since there was a pause. But yeah, now we can get on board and start beating up this opponent for harassing us. No Flourishing Hunter, no Brambleworm, so opponent seems to be flooding pretty badly here. That being said, yeah, we can still crash in for 5 and then double spell, even turning it daytime in case we need to. And I'll play the Gluttonous Guest to maybe accumulate some life. Could even see a Braid end the turn on the Socialite now, because he's been holding on to, maybe has been doing absolutely nothing these following turns. Snarling Wolf is fine, we can still block it. Gift of Fangs can take it out. I guess I could also just Gift of Fangs my own creature. And which one do I want to use it on? Could also just do it on Snarling Wolf, but maybe I just hold on to it. The question is, how aggressive do I want to be? I do have a lot of pressure on the ground anyways, so maybe I'm fine just attacking with both, and they both have menace, so he can't block, and I can just gain life, and I can just block the Snarling Wolf next turn. So interesting. Yeah, I could like gift, but if he has like a Rending Flame to punish me here, I could be in trouble, or in a Braid. So I don't really want to enchant anything here. He could have Wolf Strike as well, like he might pump and then pre-combat use Wolf Strike to take out the Blood Crazed Socialite. So if I try to respond with the gift, it's still not going to work. So yeah, he could have a pump into Wolf Strike, but I'm still going to attack with these two and sacrifice a Blood Token to crash in for 9. And then next turn we can decide to Gift the Fangs onto our vampires potentially to maybe kill him. We'll say go. Hold on to the gift. There's a potential chance we need to kill something with the gift or do something else. I'm not sure. I mean, if I use Gift here and he pumps, it's still gonna die. He still gets a blocker, so maybe I still Gift on my Socialite. And I think I'm gonna block the Snarling Wolf. Although, if I don't really need to block it. Wow, Rending Flame on the 1/4. I guess I can always discard in case I'm afraid of a pump, but I'm at 14 life. So, not sure what this implies. I don't want to discard Gift. I mean, we can kill him next turn, even if he has a lot of damage here and has something to follow up. So, not sure why he Rending Flame the 1/4 when the 4/4 is and the 3/3 is obviously the threat. So, don't know what's going on. We'll see. I guess he doesn't want me to gain life, but at 14 I should be safe. So let's just emote the opponent and maybe see what's up. But his deck could have been really scary if we Pax on Pupped and got a bunch of werewolves and started smashing me with it, but luckily I was able to deal with the threats, even in a land screwed hand. So I guess he's playing the pump here, and then I guess pump again. I mean, I should still be fine. I don't know what's going on. The only thing I can think of here is a Braid, but let's lead by discarding a land first to maybe see what we can have as follow-up. He could also be... I guess he has a Witch's Web, but both of these creatures have Menace. I mean, I might as well just go for the Gift anyway since it's lethal. Put on the Celebrant since there's no Rending Flame here. And then attack with both, and then that should be 10 damage. And even if he kills the Bloodcrazed Socialite within a Braid, I can still play Celebrants to finish the opponent off. So there we have it. Okay, number 3, nope. Number 4, forever. Alright, we are for forever 4. Forever alone, forever 4. But that's okay. We still got a huge win streak this draft, and I think I'm going to call it. And so did we get 2-7-2 drafts, I think? Not sure. I think the first one was a 7-1. I need to re-watch this video. But they were both 7 wins for sure. Not sure what the results are for the previous one. This one I think is a 7-2, right? Yeah, this is a 7-2, so we almost got KO'd. But yeah, either way, we still got to 7. Didn't get past rank 4. Unfortunately, we did face against rank 3. And I need to delete some decks, so let me be right back. And you guys can see which decks I've been drafting. This one got to 7. This one obviously got to 7. This one also got to 7. I made 2 copies of this. This one didn't get to 7. Grill Werewolves, I guess we made 2 copies. This one had no Brine Combers. We didn't get to 7 with that one. I didn't get to 7 with that one, but it also was a very strong deck. Same with this one here. So I have a lot of decks already, as you can see from all the other sets I've been doing. Even some back from Ixalan I still have. And then now we have some Strixhaven decks still. But at this point, I think I'm fairly, I'm definitely experienced now to know what to do for all the current formats. Even things like Modern Horizons 1 and 2 I'm quite familiar with, since those are great sets too. So, yeah. Two 7-win videos, rank 4. So let's add this to our deck list. And then, yeah, I guess we'll just call it and do some Strixhaven drafts for the next video. But as you can see, no bomb rares. The only rare was the Falconwrath Forebearer. But I wouldn't really call this a bomb. Like, it still dies to the Flame Blast Bolt. It still dies to. It's still annoying to face this off of, like, fight this against like a high toughness flyer or a Lantern Bearer. I suppose can halt the Falconwrath Forebearer. Still a strong card, but it also just needs to be in the right deck. Like, I wouldn't be happy playing this in like black-green or blue-black. Maybe black-white is okay, but yeah, I think this primarily wants to be in a black-red deck anyways. And as you saw from the draft, we even passed up a 6-drop Olivia for a second bleed dry just so we could stay open. And the deck functioned pretty well regardless. Even got to 7 wins with it. So it goes to show you don't always need a bomb rare to get the 7 in this format. But yeah, we'll just and yeah, let's just claim our prize. And unfortunately, stuck at 4 forever. And we'll crack all 10 packs because who cares? Alright, Faithbound Judge, Maniform Hellkite, and these are the other mythics and rares in the format I was just mentioning about. Really powerful bombs that you would always first pick over every other common and uncommon. And unless you have Bleed Dry or like Imprisonment to shut these down ASAP, they're a problem. But even with Imprisonment, like Maniform Hellkite can still catch you off guard, and the ability is still active unless you can exile it. Same with the Faithbound Judge, I guess. I guess, yeah. I guess, yeah. No. This, I guess, Imprisonment would shut this down, but like Black also has exploit creatures to play around Imprisonment, so pretty low on Imprisonment at this point. I think I can rate maybe Heron of Hope as the second best white common. But it always depends whether or not you have Traveling Ministers for the black-white Lifegain deck. Best card in this pack is Pack Song Pup, and then that's pretty much it. Nothing else I'm too fond of. At the start of format, everyone thought Scarathoughts was the best blue common, but it seems like it's just a little bit too slow in this format. Great in the late game, but sometimes I think having Syncopate is just better than Scarathoughts, just as a potential way to deal with bombs. And if you're going to be tapping out for an expensive instant speed spell, you might as well just have a counter spell up over 4 mana, draw 2. But Paxton Pup is cool. And I'm wondering if this is an Organ Hoarder, since the card is quite similar. Organ Hoarder is obviously better since it puts a body out on the battlefield, and Disturb and a Flashback is more relevant from the previous set. Here, interesting choice. Bloodseeker, Vengeance. Probably take Vengeance here. There's also Bloodseeker, but again, I feel like Bloodseeker plays better with more life gain. So black-white life gain, but again, still fine in black-red. If you sacrifice 2 blood tokens and transform this, it becomes a decent late game mana sink. But keep in mind, it's still 5 mana to tap and use the ability. So unless you are in the late game and you are in a board stall, this card is just going to be okay. Like, it's not too different from a Ragged Recluse on turn 2, except Ragged Recluse can transform immediately and start attacking, whereas Bloodsoaked Reveler still takes a little bit of time to set up. I think it's a good card, but it's not like, I think it's like a C+ card, not necessarily like a B+ or anything. So take Vampire's Vengeance. Epicure is also a pretty good common, especially if you have some creatures with exploit in blue or black. So sometimes red can pair up with one of the Grixis colors, and then if there's some exploit creatures that are only really good with in a blue-black deck, but if you have Epicures, you can just sacrifice them, and that's kind of cool. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. We're stuck at 4 forever. And I don't know if I want to keep going with Premier Draft Crimson Vow, and I just want to maybe do some quick draft Strixhaven after this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoy my videos, and as always, take care. Bye.